Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Tarkov Talk, the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about recent Tarkov events, namely TarkovTV, which had a buttload of information today. I can even talk now because you guys got me all off. We got some awesome guests joining us this evening to talk Tarkov. Right next to me with the amazing looking hat on is Captain K. Captain K, why don't you tell everybody about yourself and a little bit about your Tarkov experience?
Will do. Ahoy, I'm Captain K, leader of the Twitch Armada. I've been playing Escape from Tarkov since about 2017, before Pestily was famous, before Landmark, before any of this, right? So I've been involved in the Tarkov scene for a long time. I played in Twitch Rivals with Anton back in 2020. Anton and Vikizi, we clutched 4th place, so, you know, good times. Been hanging around for the community for a while, and just really happy to be here on the podcast again. Thanks for inviting me back, Dad Life.
It's good to have you back. Next to Captain K, we've got all returning guests tonight, by the way. We have Nexon. Nexon, tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Nexon. I also play Escape from Tarkov. I'm a little bit different, though. I blame all my deaths on everything except my own stupidity. So, with that, I have been in the Tarkov scene since 2019. I started off as a solo player, and then I started getting part of communities like Fudge's communities, Dad Lives, and I recently just started doing some evasion events at the beginning of this year. So yeah, I mean, I'm your fellow W Kier, and we go forward from there.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on back. Glad to have you. Below me, that man with those beautiful glasses on, not the sunglasses, the other guy. Welcome back, Bobber Down. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's up, Dad Live? I'm Bobber Down. I play Escape from Tarkov daily. This is my 5th wipe. Yeah, I haven't done any evasion events, but I'd love to. And basically just 52, almost 5,300 hours deep into this degeneracy of a game that we call Tarkov.
Awesome. It's good to have you back. And next to Bobber, we have that man. Some of you guys might recognize those pit vipers. It's Fudge XL. Welcome back to the podcast, Fudge. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for having me. I'm not going to say, like the rest of my co-stars here this evening, that I play Escape from Tarkov, because it's called Tarkov Talk. I think we all know that we play Escape from Tarkov. Get it together, guys. Jesus fuck. Anyway, my name is Fudge, and I'm part of Team Evasion. I have about 6,000, 7,000 hours in Tarkov. Used to play competitively. Now I'm kind of washed. Yeah, now I just have fun making content and, you know, seeing where the raids take us and going from there. So thanks for having me back, Dad Life. I'm excited for the cast.
Awesome. It's good to have you back. And if anybody's new, this is your first time here, welcome in. My name is Dad Life, obviously. Just like Fudge said, we're all Tarkov players here. I've been playing Tarkov for just 6 wipes now. I've got... last time I checked, I was over 6,000 hours. Then I just stopped checking, to be honest, because I feel like that's degenerate enough. I don't need to know anything more than that. So, yeah. You guys are coming with police lights tonight. So yeah, that's about it. You know, we play Tarkov. I don't play competitive. I played in some tourneys, but I don't take competitive Tarkov real seriously. I always like to game, have a good time, be entertaining, so that's kind of my shtick, but I have played competitive games in the past. So, you know, I do still have that competitive spirit a little bit deep down inside. So, alright. So that being said, big, enormous amount of information today in the TarkovTV. I think the first one that I'd like to talk about, which I think is the biggest thing, is Unity 2021 is coming. And there's a lot of promises that go with that. What do you guys think about that? How many people actually, do you guys, I'm assuming everybody watched the podcast today, whether it was live or read the restream, correct?
I streamed it, yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was exciting because they promised more frames, and I just got more frames, so now I want more than more frames. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Get
I'm
ball
curious to
frames.
see, but see, like I wonder what they mean by more frames. You know what I mean? They're like, are we gonna get like 20 more, or am I gonna get like 400 frames on customs? You know what I mean? Like, probably not, but
At least 5. At least 5 more frames.
at least 5
More.
Yeah.
performance.
Yes. But hey, if I can get 5 more frames on streets and 45 more players, I'm about it. Give it to me.
Gosh,
60,
Yeah.
60 players was the number that he threw out there, but said it could be increased. Now, mind you, that was only on Streets of Tarkov, but that is phenomenal, man. I think one of the problems that the maps like suffer from is just not enough players actually being able to go on the map on certain maps, right? Like on Factory, I wouldn't want to see 15 people. That's insane. But like Woods, for example, you could easily double the player count and it would feel great, right? And so that's what I'm excited about with this transition to the new engine is the ability to get more players into raid.
Well, he did recap and he did say that they could do 60 players on every map, even in Factory, with these capabilities. Like, just giving an example of like what they can do with Unity 2021 now.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And it's going to decrease queue time, which is huge, man. Such a big deal with this game right now. Just getting you into the game.
Yeah, for sure. He said they can go higher than 60, but 60 is kind of what they're shooting for right
69. Yep.
now. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
glad
Yeah.
to hear that they had tested it and actually ran it with more people.
Yeah. No,
He
Yeah.
kept reiterating that, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
That's always the biggest question, right? We're like, did they test this before they actually put it
Yeah.
live? That's been a big
Right.
question in the thing is like, how well was this tested? You know.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I think actually bigger than Unity. Does anybody else have anything on Unity before we move on? No.
No, not really.
I think the biggest thing that I noticed was they said, and we talked about this on last podcast, was they rewrote the core. They're rewriting the core of the game because the core of the game was garbage. So I think he said they actually hired somebody to come in and optimize how they rewrote the game. And I don't know if they rewrote the game. I don't know the details for it, but basically they had an outside influence, which is something that I think I mentioned before. Just have somebody that knows the Unity maybe a little bit better than they do to come in and optimize the core of the game, which for them turned into rewriting the core of the game. That was probably the most exciting thing that I heard on the entire Tarkov TV, that they're rewriting the core of the game. You know, because there's just so much to this game that they kept laying on that, you know, if you don't have a good base for it, it's not going to run efficiently. So I was super, super excited about that. I would imagine the rest of you are excited about that as well, correct?
Yeah, but I don't even know what that really means, to be quite honest with you. Writing, I mean, everybody keeps saying this is massive, right? But maybe I'm just a dumbass, but like, I don't know what that means, rewrite the core.
Okay.
Like, what?
So I have a good explanation for you. Okay. Now, everybody's familiar with like how a file cabinet works, right? Normally, you have things in a file cabinet organized maybe in alphabetical order or numeric order, whatever works the most efficient way for you to find what you need to in the file cabinet, right? So what happens sometimes is you take your file cabinet and you throw some stuff in there that's out of order, right? So it's going to take you longer to find what you want. And then I've used the example as I think it's a certain point, they just kept throwing more and more expansions, new guns and stuff on there that eventually they had the file folder. They didn't even file it. They just threw it on top of the file cabinet. And then we're like, yeah, just figure it out, game. Just run. It'll run slow. It'll work, but it's not working in the right way. So it's not like alphabetized. It's not filed correctly. You know, when they started the game from the start to now, there might have been changes in code and stuff where you had 2 pages of code to get the guy to move his arm, and now you can do it in 1, which means it moves faster because it's more efficient. So that's what that means by they rewrote the base of the game.
So my question is are they using AI to rewrite it? Or did they specify with that? Because I remember the Nice Guy recap video talking about AI. and using that to like rewrite everything.
Um,
And that's what I want to know is how are they going to do this? Because they've obviously avoided this. Like they've just put a big bandage over the problem for so long. They've avoided it, locked all the skeletons in the closet, and just ran away from it for the last 5 years. Why do they feel confident in tackling it now?
So I think the reason is there are, and I know this for a fact. I actually just watched a video on this, so this all like kind of perfect. It worked out perfectly for me. Is that there are now AIs that can come out, and if you're looking for a certain thing, it will have the code. So like code works on functions, right? So think of it as a mathematic formula. In school, we took algebra. They're like, if you have this problem, this is the way that you solve it, right? You know, so like cross multiplication or something like that. So what these AIs will do is find those functions for you, or what they might be doing, I think, is they'll go through and find these functions or these things that are similar to functions that exist that will operate a lot better and probably pull that code out and replace it with better code. I'm thinking that's a plausible thing that they could do to optimize rewriting the game. But pulling these huge codes, like it's kind of a little bit off of the Tarkov thing, but some of us have played Dark and Darker, and right now Dark and Darker is like off. They're in a lawsuit, right?
Right.
So one of the things that Dark and Darker is the company suing them is like, you stole our assets. And Dark and Dark is like, well, we took our base assets, we just bought them they use Unreal Engine. We bought them straight from Unreal. So we bought the character models from Unreal to use in our game, which is what a lot of small indie companies do, is somebody already wrote a base undressed character model and how it moves. So you can just buy that, right? So there's things out there in the coding world that somebody already figured out how to run the best. And you can either purchase that, or sometimes people will be like, here, have this for free, right? So there's like, there's a lot of stuff going on with code and AI and stuff that are just out there for free. So that's going to kind of help, progress games forward. Did that answer your question?
Actually, absolutely. I'm just curious as to what the timeline is on this, right? Because I think that a lot of people have written off Escape from Tarkov because of the performance of the servers, because of sound issues, because of cheating, all of these problems. And I've watched the hype for the game slide backwards, and I've watched the morale for the game slide backwards. And I think today's podcast was the first time in a while where I felt a sense of relief and a sense of optimism again for the game. And if you remember our last conversation we had on this podcast, the overall sentiment was that Escape from Tarkov's not doing that hot. It's kind of in a tough spot, right? So I'm wondering, what's the time delivery on this? And is this like a 6-month thing? Is this a year-long thing?
Well, I think on the podcast they said you'll see it, all this stuff unravel in the next 6 to 8 months.
That was pretty much everything they talked about. Yeah.
Which then I also have to wonder, what does that mean for Wipe, right? Because they're not going to unravel these things, mid-wipe. It's going to be, that's in a way is kind of like a content update. It's a rework of the game. So like, I have to imagine it's going to come out with a wipe. But if they're saying 6 to 8 months, like how long is this wipe going to be? You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just kind of where my head's at with that.
He did say it was going to be there's 2 parts to a lot of this stuff, right? So, Unity 2021, I believe, is the next big thing that's going to come. And then a lot of the other stuff's going to come after that. I'm going to say this. The core optimization is probably coming at the same time that Unity 2021 is coming. That would make the most sense to me. You're upgrading your engine
and the server tech too.
And the server, right. So I think that it's going to come in the next update. And he said something about May. There's going to be a big patch.
So that's what I was thinking, right? Is that the big patch? So next month is going to be when we get 2021 involved. And I think that I'm hoping to see the relief happen as soon as possible because I want people to be excited about this game. I actually makes me wonder too. What's the release date of Arena at this point, right? Because if we're waiting on this patch for 2021 Unity, and we don't have the optimizations yet, right, is Arena going to be end of year? I thought it was in my eyes. I was expecting it like around June, July.
Didn't you say on the podcast that Arena's already tested on Unity 2021?
Yeah,
Like,
Right.
Arena's ready to go. I think what they want to do is they want to get the base EFT caught up to where Arena is now, and then start dropping like big patches or technical updates to kind of drive the want in the community back into loving Tarkov
Mm.
from like I guess a sales standpoint. Because I mean, ain't nothing better than obviously, a newer game of the game that you've been enjoying dropping at the same time another base game derivative of that game dropping as well. That's going to bring a huge influx of players.
Oh yeah, all the Call of Duty kids.
yeah. I don't think we'll see them drop at the same time. I don't think it's gonna be like, hey, you got a patch and a new game. They'll be separate.
Well, I think we'll see the Unity 2021, and then when Wipe gets close, I think the plan is. I hope the plan is that they're going to put in Unity 2021 before Wipe.
Yeah.
We're going to see that technical update, and then they're going to be ready to release Arena. And what we'll probably see is a Wipe with an expansion of Streets released alongside Arena.
I don't think we'll see Arena released at the same time, but the rest of it,
You'd think they'd stagger it for hype reasons.
I think we'll
I
see
think they
Arena in the
stagger it.
fall mid-wipe.
I don't think they stagger it for hype reasons. I think they stagger it because they need a reason to wipe, and they're not going to release. Expansion to Streets and Arena are two major things. They're not going to. There's no way they're going to release them both at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. So
What happens if they're both broken? They got to fix both of them at the same time.
It makes too much sense for them to say like wipe Streets expansion 6 months later. Now they spend the next 6 months fixing little bugs, but mainly focusing on Arena, and then wipe again, release Arena, and then you know what I'm saying? They may also, on top of that, I could be way off. They may not even release Arena with a wipe. It might just be a new game. Like, because I mean, it's technically a different
new
game, right?
game,
They might
right.
just release it. There may not even be a wipe at all.
Well,
So
that
it
was
could go either way.
technically the plan originally, right? They said, we're going to start testing Arena, like open testing, or in fall of last year, which wouldn't have been a wipe. They were saying around November, like late October, November was when they were giving it to us originally. And obviously things change. So it's not going to be... We need to stop thinking of Arena, I think, as Tarkov viewers, we need to stop thinking of Arena as Tarkov. We need to just start thinking of Arena as they took Tarkov and made a new game, and we get Arena whenever we get it. That's my personal feeling on it. Because all of the information that we have, and even looking at what they showed today for Arena, yes, it's definitely very Tarkov-y, but I mean, different menus, etc. Like, definitely a totally different vibe, different pace. So I think that we need to remember that they plan on Arena being a new game.
Different game category on Twitch.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah, like entirely separate. And but isn't it, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you supposed to be able to take resources from Arena and then transfer them to the main Escape from Tarkov game?
I mean,
that's what. Go ahead, sorry.
I mean, I'm going to throw my hands up on that one. I mean, yes, but is that really going to happen?
It's going to be interesting to see for sure. The server tick rates actually having as close to like professional lag-free Tarkov experience as you can get. Hopefully, I know some people may be like, "Okay, you're huffing copium over here," but if they can actually pull off increased server tick rate, and then they have this tournament infrastructure. I don't know if you guys remember, but like before this recent patch where things were really lulled out, there was a bustling tournament scene. People were throwing tournaments all over the place. It was huge, man. It was a lot of fun. Evasion was in full swing. Andra was throwing events. Remember, Pestily used to do Punisher tournaments,
Punisher tournaments,
right?
yep.
And how did that unified the community? There was a sense of like a really positive force in the community with the competition and all this. Arena is going to be the official hosting format for this and the rebirth of this competitive scene, or at least that's what it should be. And I think the sooner we get that, the better, because that is missing right now from the community. There's a couple here and there, but there's no like organized set of tournaments or tournament organizers right now that I can see that are doing it on like a large scale.
Well, I can tell you just from, I mean, it's no secret because I was on the Evasion podcast, I think last month, and a lot of people in chat, 'cause I was like technically, I guess, the host of the podcast, but a lot of people in chat were asking when are Evasion tournaments coming out, when are Evasion tournaments happening, when are these events happening.
Right.
So I was instructed to basically let everybody know, like, hey, listen, Evasion wants to do events, but there's so many bugs with Tarkov right now that they don't want to ruin the integrity of their events,
right,
because of the bugs,
right.
And that was no secret. That was put out into the public, and I have to imagine that all of the other major events are kind of looking at it in the same light, with maybe the exception of, say, Rivals. I think Rivals probably has different reasons why not to. But for the most part, the major events, they don't want to risk their event being shit and then getting a shit review. Getting a shit review from, the populace. So.
Yeah, so like the invisible PMC bug kind of killed the competitor spirit for a while, and it just seems like even though the invisible bug seems to be fixed, there's no, like, I mean, what bugs are left? I guess sound's pretty rough, right? Like sound is in a tough spot. Lag is still at an all-time high.
I think at the time the biggest issue was the invisibility. There was a lot of people were invisible.
Invisibility,
right.
And I think the hiccups. So I forget, it was a couple weeks ago I watched Podcast Signals on it, and she said like she didn't feel comfortable hosting a tournament where somebody was going to die because somebody was invisible, somebody lagged out, there was just really bad desync, somebody got shot behind a corner, and then have that decide who wins or loses, which makes sense. Like, the competitive integrity of the game wasn't there to host a serious tournament where you're going to pay people, significant amounts of money, whether they win or lose, so I think that's, and that makes sense. And I think that's why a lot of other people that host tournaments have also held off. I know even when there was tournaments, was it, a couple wipes ago, when there was a lot of those tournament organizers really had a hard time in some cases finding out, first people in the top 3 found out that somebody was cheating, right? Found out
the
that
drama. Yeah.
The drama that was associated with that.
So much.
Or watch the team that had been dominating the entire time just get some weird bugs and lose the tournament that they've been following all tournament. And then those people don't want to come back to the tournament because they're like, you know what, I don't want to do Tarkov tournaments anymore. And some of these were, was more popular names in the community that you see in tournaments all the time. And they're like, look, I don't really want to do tournaments because if the game operated correctly, I would have won that one. And they get a bad taste in their mouth. And then, the people that love seeing, competitor A and B like dominate stuff and watch them play don't want to watch that because they're like, well, they should have won that, and there was a lot of that drama associated with that. And it was most of the time, it wasn't on tournament organizers, it was on the state of the game.
Right.
But
they catch the flack.
Right. So, yeah, tournament organizers have to call a winner, at some point, or just don't do the tournament. And I think a lot of people chose not to do the tournaments. One thing they did mention with Arena is, like, right off the rip, Nikita said, there's going to be a tournament realm for people to host their own tournaments that Battlestate doesn't have to be involved with, which I think is awesome. That's absolutely
that's huge.
a big W for organizations or for anybody. You know, if you want to put on a community tournament, you can do it. It's going to be available. That's sick. That's absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
You know, I'm also wondering how much they're going to expand offline mode. You know, are content creators or a bunch of friends going to be able to host, 20 or 30 people free-for-alls on Factory or stuff like that? I think that could be really cool as well.
You know what
so
I think
am
would
looking
be,
forward to that.
You know, I think would be awesome for offline mode. This just hit me in the head, and like the content brain is now churning. If they added, like, do you guys remember the Halo 3 or Halo 2 like Forge days? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where you could like
make your
watch
own maps.
free floating cam. Yeah.
Yeah, we need free cam.
Mhm.
Imagine if you could like take items, like let's say I get my community together. I say, okay, first person to find the LEDX that I hit on customs wins whatever I want to give away, right? Like,
Yeah.
if they could add something like that, that would be dope. They probably can't, but
Yeah.
No, it's been they did discuss free cam at some point. It's been discussed in previous podcasts that it's in the plans, but right now I don't think that they want to make it widely available because they've used it. How do you think they shoot their in-game videos? They have it. It's available to them.
I think that a certain single-player mod of the game, I know there's a mod that enables this overhead footage, and I think it's where some content creators have got these overhead shots for their cinematic views. I think there's 2 points. I think one thing that Fudge was touching on, too, was the idea of trackable objectives. So, like, set an objective to find XYZ item by XYZ time, and then that's also a part of it. But I also want to expand upon what Fudge was saying, which was that so the whole like Halo Red vs. Blue, do you remember that? Like I think it was Rooster Teeth, right? You know, remember how crazy popular and viral that was for the game, and how it blew up the game's success. I think I almost wish I could like convince them to move the whole like the free cam and like offline raid like for cinematics, push that forward because they will get so much free promotion, viral promotion, because the stuff that we're going to create is going to be so damn good and so damn funny with these new tools that we just can't do. It's like pulling teeth right now. You need a minimum of 3 people in a raid so you can observe dialogue between 2 characters.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know one content creator that did his best. Like he was gonna do a story series in Tarkov, and like without that cam ability, like he was like, it's just too hard. It's too hard to like finagle camera angles within the game to do what you want to do.
It's so ass. It's terrible.
You know, so it would be a huge asset to creators, tournament organizers, whatever, like anybody, you know, like just messing around with friends. Like it would still be fun, right? Like it's not just content creators or tournament organizers. Like how fun is it to play with your friends and then, you know, have a spectator mode where you can fly around and watch your last 2 friends battle it out, you know, and fly around. So yeah, I think that it's something that would be a huge plus to the game for everybody, you know, not just to make content or just to host tournaments. I think it would be fun for everybody, you know, and it would also expand the game. Like even think about like we look at maps, right? If you're a new player, what if you could go in offline mode and actually fly around and figure out the map? Right. It would be an asset.
That's what you could do with SPT, yeah.
Right, and that would be the plus. Plus and minus. Minus would be like, well, you know, like, people are gonna be like, well, I learned the hard way. It's no fair that they could do that now, but whatever. I don't care. Like, it's a game.
In my day,
yeah, back in my day, I learned by stash running on Shoreline, and then I went from there. It's not fair. All these kids with newfangled like drone technology flying around in Shoreline.
Get with the time, Grandpa. It's called TikTok, and it's my best friend.
All right. Well, we already talked about Arena, so let's switch over. If anybody missed it today, let's watch a little bit of the Arena stuff. So this is they've already released one. So this is it's very short. Cool menus. Cool menus.
Oh yeah, that's fancy.
You know,
That is fancy. Look at that.
Looks really
look at
cool.
that yeah, that heads up cam. That's awesome.
look at that. Look at
And
this map
the
with all
4
the
maps it got.
yeah, with all those containers.
Yeah. Looks really good, man. And what it is too is it's the Tarkov combat experience, but in super bite-sized chunks. I think one of the biggest problems, circling back to tournaments, was that there's so much downtime. Two things. One, there's so much downtime when you're running in the map just to get to the fight. So you probably got 15 minutes of gameplay. You've got, what, 1 minute of fights? This is going to be like 9-10 minutes of fights per 15 minutes, maybe more. That is going to keep people watching and interested. There's nothing more boring than running for 5 minutes to get to your objective so you can like actually get to the fight. And another thing, I just want to say this real quick. If you've ever played a public tournament in Escape from Tarkov, it's absolute cheeks because you're not just fighting the people, you're also fighting whoever else is on the map.
Right.
And so the ability to have arena and play this in a private setting is going to be huge because right now Battlestate has to give you private accounts if you want that, and you have to know somebody or make it happen, right? So
yeah,
playing against the public while you're doing a tournament is
dog water.
Especially when it happens mid wipe. Because what they do is like everybody's level 50, 55, 60, whatever, and then they throw you in with a level 42 account, but you're only limited to X amount of ammo and whatnot. So like you might have to run subsonic or like, you know, just off meta ammo. So you're just at a disadvantage the whole time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And then there's different advantages too, like where you have I've seen different tournaments where like they don't give you server info, right? They're just like, yeah, play whatever. And for whatever reason, you play the RNG game of I played the servers that don't have anybody on them and I need PMC kills for points. But so-and-so happened to hit the jackpot on the servers they chose, and they've got level 10 Timmies nonstop, and they finished the tournament with 25 PMC kills. You didn't even see 25 PMC kills the entire 3 hours. You saw 5, and you happened to kill 4 of them. You know,
I mean,
and they were juiced, right? They were like some juiced players.
I have a kit from when I played in the hunt, a clip from when I played in the hunt a couple wipes ago, where I was at Crack House and I needed PMC kills because that was points. So I'm voiping at this guy, and he's like, "Hey, me and my friend, we're new. We're just looking for Salewas." I'm like, "Bro, I got 2. Come on in here. I got you." And they come moseying on over, and I spray them both down. Like that's kind of what sucks about being in public server. Like, yeah, it was free points for me, but like not everybody has that opportunity.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Definitely,
Yep.
definitely.
I remember that clip. I remember when that happened. I was watching it. Yeah.
And
Or
what
if you're
Fudge said too.
playing, or you get all those who are essentially sniping the event.
Yeah,
Everybody that knows
exactly what I was going to say.
the
Exactly.
public event is happening. They're like, oh, they're on public servers.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like, you know, we did on my factory tournament in January, you know, everybody was running factory. Everybody was, you know, mid kids. It's, you know, first couple weeks of or no, was it towards the end of the wipe? No, it was the beginning of the wipe. And everybody, as you went into factory, should have been at least mid tier or at least getting to 42 gear level on factory. But I found myself in all my raids I'm running into, dudes are already running slicks, hexes, and I'm fighting for my life to get, 3 points on the board, and it is just like, it really isn't like that in factory. You usually have 1 or 2 juicers who live on factory, and then you have the, other guys that just frequent factory. But when I was running it, I was like, every single person here is just juiced out of their fucking mind.
Yep.
I don't think you really need to worry about people sniping the event with like bigger events, or I'm sorry, with smaller events. Like the bigger events people are gonna want to snipe because, I mean, not for nothing, but there's usually bigger creators or bigger streamers in.
They want to get a clip
events.
of killing the
Yeah,
bigger
right,
streamer.
right.
Volume of people, yeah.
But also that's why the bigger events are almost always on private server.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
it's tough.
Any public tournament like that is rough. And
Yeah.
I noticed in the past too, like some people that would win some of the public tournaments would be EU players playing at a completely different time zone, getting in completely different amount of player base because they're playing prime time for them on their servers, while NA guys are stuck trying to get a morning crowd on a weekend.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so I think it'll be great that they'll be able to run stuff through this system instead.
Yeah, I think so as well. But I remember specifically when we were talking about people stream sniping, I remember the last time there was the Punisher Factory, and all of the I want to prove people or I want to get clips of while people were doing their qualifier runs. The factory was just juiced for like 2 weeks, and it was like if you got your qualifying run in right off the rip, you get a great qualifying run. But if you were one of the people that were trying to get it in like the last 2 or 3 days, there was just people like basically preventing people from being able to get in the tournament. Everybody was running, super thick, like full Zabralo, Rise Tees in there, just making sure nobody else got kills, ruining their whatever 90-minute run or whatever it was to qualify. I remember that specifically. I think Fudge, you might have made an attempt at it, or a couple, and you were just like, forget it, I can't. There's a bunch of dudes in here being ridiculous because they know Pestily's a big name in Tarkov, and this is a big tournament, and these people aren't even qualifying. They just wanna be the people that prevent people from qualifying.
We got to the point where you would run into a 5-man, like literally a 5-man of people wearing the thickest kit you can, and like I think I'm a pretty good player, but like when you're fighting a 5-man of juicers, like it's tough to be a solo, especially on factory. So
yeah,
I just said screw it. I'm not like I can't.
Yeah. Right. And it was a bunch of people that were trying to like, yeah, maybe I'll qualify. It was like, no, you should have qualified the first 2 or 3 days because now you put it off and now everybody knows about it. And, they're trying to get highlight clips to show their friends and laugh in their Discords. So interesting. So, another thing that I want to, then this is a big thing because it's probably the third biggest thing. For some people, it might be the number one thing. Nikita did address the cheating situation. And he did say today that the changes that they're making to the game as they go through Unity 2021. And I think, again, they brought in some outside help. They weren't talking about as much about anti-cheat, but they were talking about the way that they're going to run the game overall is going to make it a lot harder for cheat developers to make easy access to cheats and be able to get into the game file structure basically to create these cheats, which I found interesting, and I hope that it's true. I hope that they're coding things in a way that is protecting their assets of the game and keeps the integrity of the game where people can't cheat. I found that very interesting. He didn't talk a lot about it, but he was just like, look, we really worked on this a lot from what we can do as a company. And I appreciated that. Again, it remains to be seen. Personal experience lately is, yes, there's still cheaters. Am I running into as many cheaters as I ran into the end of January? Not that I was running into a ton. I know everybody's experience varies. But I'll be honest, I haven't run into a lot of them recently where I'm like, oh, dude, blatantly cheating. Guaranteed. Have still done it, but not as many as I was like late January, early February. What's your guys' thoughts on what Nikita said, and then what's your thoughts on the overall cheater situation? Is it better than it was a couple months ago?
It feels like it could be. I mean, so today I ran Zabralo, Mjolnir, Alton for like 5 raids, and typically you run a kit that juicy, like the cheater is gonna find you. You know what I mean? I may have gotten lucky, but in my experience, running super juice kits like that is just almost an invitation to like, hey, come kill me. I think they're trying a lot to fix the situation, but I still don't think they're doing enough. Um, and I think it's going to continue to be an issue. And I'll be honest with you, I think the best fix to get rid of people like rage hacking is to remove a lot of these RMT restrictions. I think that's your quickest fix is to remove them. Because if you guys remember, before all these restrictions, really wasn't that bad with the rage hackers. Because a lot of times these hackers, they would mind their own business. They would just, you know, go get the LEDX or whatever. And sure, maybe, you know, I didn't get the LEDX, but I didn't know it was there. You know what I mean? So, you know, they would just go get the loot and they'd get out. They would mind their own business. They don't want to get reported. They don't want to be known. They would avoid you. Now, the only way that they're able to do this is like paid carries and stuff. So,
right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, revenge of the cheaters. It's like revenge of the nerds.
Yeah, I ran into a situation where somebody might have been getting carried the other day. Which again, if you're gonna carry some timmies and they're sending you $20 on PayPal, I don't care as long as you're not cheating. But I do think that the changes that they made. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are cheating. You know, like 90% of them. But I mean, I've known people in games that have not cheated. They've just been really good and they can carry timmies around, and people are willing to pay for that. No matter the game, doesn't matter what the game is. So
yeah,
you know,
well, I think with what we're dealing with, like, you got to survive cheaters, you got to survive desync, you have to survive audio. I mean, we have such a culmination of things that just are against every single player as soon as they load into a raid. That when you survive a raid, like, you're beating so many odds more than you should be. So, I mean, with the culmination of cheaters, with the culmination of these RMT deterrents that they think they're working, and everything else under the sun, we're getting these these rage cheaters a lot more often, because at the end of the day, when you die, in any other game, there's a blatant cheater. You know he's a cheater right off the bat. You're like, that guy is cheating, Call of Duty, the whole 9 yards. But with Escape from Tarkov, I don't know if he was cheating. I don't know if that was desync. I don't know if that was an audio issue or anything like that nature. There's too many what ifs that are causing so much controversy that it eventually is, oh, they banned 60,000 cheaters, but there's a lot more. Well, we really don't know that, because desync could have been the death. Nobody knows.
Right.
You know, and I think with Unity 2021 implementation, the server tick fix, I mean, the quality of lives that they plan on doing in the next 6 months, we're going to see a lot less of the so-called cheating player base, and it's going to revert back to like what Fudge says. You know, the cheaters in the beginning were just, they got their shit and they got out. We barely saw them. If we did step into them, then we're like, fuck, that sucks.
Right.
I just lost my Holden.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also, like, why can't they just another? I mean, I don't know if it's simple or not to implement, but I feel like it could be. Why not add only if you're solo? You can't do it if you're in a group, but why not add kill cam if you're solo?
Right.
At least let me see what the other person saw or did, so I know cheating, whatever, right? Because like the reason you can tell if somebody's cheating Call of Duty is because when they kill you, you watch the clip and then they don't miss a shot from a mile away. Like, okay, that guy was cheating, right? Add solo kill cam.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
tell right away.
I think that's
with
probably
a delayed release, though.
Yeah, I think that's a small amount of your player base, and I also think that if you're creative and you've found a good spot somewhere on a map and nobody else has figured it out yet, so like you're basically, and I know that creators are doing this, but you're basically advertising every tree that you can jump into, every weird rock that you didn't know you can get on by adding that kill cam. It takes away the creative and good players' angles and all of the advantages are like, oh, well, I'm going to use that angle now. Well, now they use it on somebody else, and somebody else is going to use that. And then somebody posts it on YouTube, and now your cool spot that you had found that you had been doing work from is now exposed. And I think that's the big thing about Tarkov that they want to avoid because of the type of game that it is, and that's why they won't put a kill cam in Tarkov, but they did say they're going to put one in Arena. Is because, maybe you could figure out if somebody's cheating or not, but what if they're not cheating and now you've just learned valuable information or intel that can help you going forward? I think that's why they don't.
TikTok.
Yeah, I got a YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. It makes it so people don't just sit in a corner and wait.
I mean, yeah, but that changes the game experience for people, I mean, if they're not sitting in the corner, but they're sitting in a bush, or they're hitting up a bunch of different spots on woods or shoreline outside of the resort, like, I think that changes a lot of things for some people. I mean, then you're forcing people to play the way that you want to play, which I don't necessarily.
Yeah,
I don't agree with, like, some of, like, sitting in one room waiting for people to come in all the time. But I also don't like the idea of, like, you got to keep moving all the time, because if you sit in one spot and somebody's seen you kill somebody there before, your spot's now exposed. Everyone's looking there all the time.
Yeah, but I could argue the opposite, where with desync and everything like that, it kind of is making it so I can't play the way I want to play, right? Because it doesn't pay off to be like a Chad anymore. It doesn't pay off to W key, doesn't pay off to push fights, because of the fact that people play so slow or sitting in corners and desync. And desync, how bad desync is, I think it's worse than it ever has been.
Mm-hmm.
It makes more sense for you to just sit in a corner and wait for somebody to push you than not. So, like, it goes both ways. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Plus find and raid, Fudge. Plus find and raid. Find and raid does not incentivize you to be a Chad and go fight. I find this all the time, man, when I shift W. People will, like, literally, you'll shoot a guy. He will run probably like 50 feet back from his original position, right? Or like 70 feet, hide in like some sort of crevice, and then just wait for you to, like, come forward and go look for him, and then just shoot you when you approach. Like, people don't. The average player in Tarkov, I think, is scared to actually fight, and not just hunker down and
I mean, hell, sometimes I'll find, like, let's say I have a task item, and I've been looking for that task item for so long, right? Because of found and raid, I'm like, I ain't fighting shit. Like, get me out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like,
Yep.
It kind of ruins that. Like, the fun of the game for me is the W key fighting, and, like, it kind of, like, there are just so many reasons that it's taken away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But I mean, I think
Arena.
you're going to see a lot of that get fixed now with
Arena,
some of the stuff they're talking about, or you just go play Arena.
I'll be interested to see how much of the player base completely stops playing the main game
Right.
and
So
swaps to Arena.
Depends on what Arena
H1Z1 King of the
brings.
Kill. So H1Z1 King of the Kill versus Just Survive. So H1Z1 Just Survive was kind of like the DayZ experience of the game. And when King of the Kill came out, nobody wanted to play Just Survive. Just Survive died.
Right.
So that's the closest example I can think of something like that happening.
Yeah, could happen. Other things he talked about as far as efficiency stuff. He talked about LOD changes. So basically, like, texture changes, optimizations that are really bad, especially on streets, that are going to improve. FPS. Talked about doing the optimization of memory. That's 3 years.
Huge.
We've been waiting for that.
Yeah, all of the 16 gig memory guys can start playing now.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
God.
come back.
Maybe.
32 isn't even enough.
I know.
And they talked about, like, they're working on optimizations and how glass works, as well, which I think is big. I mean, a lot of optimization talk, all of it pretty good. Let's take a fiber real quick. All right, so we're back. Okay. So I want to go through some of the cool, awesome things that we saw. New UI. new UI for dealers.
I loved it.
It was
Yeah, it
pretty
looks so
awesome.
good.
It's pretty awesome. Let's take a look.
Yes.
Let's take a look. Looks real good.
Look at that. Streamlined. I don't even have to
Yeah.
press
So
these
it's
keys
redesigned
anymore.
training menu,
Yeah.
all unified, and much more usable than the
Gorgeous,
current one.
gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Anything they can do to minimize downtime in this game is so necessary.
And then the
So
tasks
necessary.
where you can just click every trader and pull up their task
Yeah.
menus. Super
Yeah,
awesome.
less time in menu, more time in raid.
Definitely, dude.
Awesome. Dope. Okay. So I think that's really good. I love to see that. A couple of other things that they talked about is they talked about some of the new animations. Some of the ones that they didn't show on stream but that they did talk about is coming is re-shouldering your gun. So that means right shoulder, left shoulder. So you can right or left
I
peek.
love that.
You know, you can
Yep.
peek whichever angle you want now safely. I'm curious to see if it's going to affect how your PMC interacts. I'm wondering, do you have to pick a right-handed or left-handed PMC, or is it going to operate the same for both?
They should have like left-handed skill and right-handed skill.
Yeah. I think that's possible for a thing. You know, you level it up, you get a bonus to accuracy. You could choose to be left-handed majority of the time if you wanted to, like if you're in an open environment. I think that's very cool. They talked about some new animations from cover, which were very cool as well. I got that. Let's pull that up.
Oh, the rework on the blind fires are
Yeah, blind fires.
Oh yeah.
It looks really good.
Very cool.
I'd like to be able to do it again while moving, though.
Yeah. That was never their intention, though.
Yeah, it actually clears the top of the obstacles.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
I don't ever blind fire. Do you guys blind fire? I never do.
Every
I
once in a
do,
while,
when the situation calls for it.
I've blind fired sometimes. I think the problem is again, there's so many moving parts in Tarkov. I know somebody used to have they had their three pedals. Their middle pedal was like push to talk, and then their other two were overhead and then sideways blind fire. And they used it all the time because it was easy for them. Very good tool, but it's like such a pain to do, right? Like if you're moving fast and you have to click two buttons, or maybe you remap it somewhere else, but you only have so many buttons in Tarkov that you can reach quickly. But I do think it has its place where it would be really cool to blind fire and actually cover while somebody moves. I mean, I've covered for an opponent now, like to get somebody so they can move, you know, shoot at somebody on a corner so they can't peek while my teammate goes down the hallway or whatever, you know. But it's hard to do in a quick moving firefight for sure. Unless you really focus on doing it. But if it works more effective and those animations help it be more effective, I think more people are going to use it more as an effective way to fight. Nobody fights in Tarkov. No one fights in Tarkov. Like, how many of you, Chad, you can be included in this as well, is like, how many people use covering fire in this game realistically on a regular basis?
No, like nobody.
Right?
I just
Depends on
shoot
who
heavy
I'm running
into the
with.
loop.
Depends on who I'm running with. But I think the right peak dependency on the community, how everybody holds the right angle just to get that advantage, as kind of it essentially has made everybody dumb, because I'm starting to find myself catching a lot of people on the lean pro,
Yeah.
prone move.
Mhm.
You know, I'll get behind something, I'll lean prone out, and then I'll bop them, and then you know they'll be completely confused on like, wait, I had the right hand peek the whole time. Well, yeah, you did, but you also forget there's other ways you can combat the right hand peek. You know, either wrap it around or you get a different angle and you just, you know, we all remember in my community we call it the glorious peek. You know, they took that away, but it was a great peek. You know, you do that quick peek, you get that split second of what's on the other side of that pillar, and then you line it up and you pull a shot. You know, I mean, you could still kind of do that, but you have to be more methodical and patient with it. But
Mhm.
but yeah, I find a lot of people in the community, they're so dependent on just sitting on their knee, holding that right hand peak, and they wait for you to push. You know,
Yep,
it's a
every
waiting
time.
game.
That's
And
Tarkov now. That's
Yeah,
how the game
it
is.
really is. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think that re-shouldering is gonna help move the game along a little bit. If this covering fire is a little bit more effective, again, might move that game back to a state that we enjoy, as well.
the M67 push, that's always a great move that people don't read up
Yeah.
on much either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of good things. So I mean, changes coming to movement, and they're gonna be good or bad. Next change in movement is gonna be vaulting. So, video up here. We can watch the vaulting video real quick.
Yep, work in progress. The kid almost didn't have it come through. He almost didn't show it.
It's not polished,
Yeah.
so, but you get the general
Where
idea.
he's coming from, though.
And the second video,
Like,
Right.
I'm not sure
Kinda
those
changes
guys
looking.
they kind of got bullied into it. The best looking animation out of that is the out the window.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
My only concern is that, you know, when you know, usually when you're jumping over something or you're, you know, shift jumping into something or your left foot jumping, you get that hesitation. Like
Right.
when you land and you go to make your next movement, there's always that your PMC does that hesitation to where it's a delay on what you want to do and it leaves you vulnerable to a counter shot, right? I'm wondering if there's going to be, if you look at the video, if there's going to be any kind of delay with your vaulting. When he does the box jump or when he does the box vault, you know, you see that where his character renders that he's in the air and it puts him on the box. Like if that is put into the vaulting or if that's left unknown, that's going to kill a lot of people playing the vault game.
Yeah.
Because there's that hesitation because you can't do anything. You're like,
No, I mean that's the. I mean, yeah, I agree to a certain extent, but I mean, if you ever jump down with full weight, you're gonna have a little bit of a shock before you pick yourself back up and start moving. You know.
Yeah, it takes you a minute.
It's gonna take you a second. I mean, I think that my biggest thing does the animation cause an actual like lag sort of thing? I'm hoping not. That's my biggest thing. But I think the vaulting could be good. It could be bad. So you remember, I don't know if anybody ever played PUBG when they added vaulting to the game. Before that, really good players would jump crouch through windows to get in and out of buildings. And if you're a good player, you could really outplay somebody. And then when vaulting came in, it became harder to do that because it was faster to jump crouch through some windows than it was to vault through them. And when you vaulted, a lot of the times it would make you vault. You're like, no, I just want to jump crouch because it's faster. So I'm curious as to what it's going to do. It's going to do to the game. If you are a good player, like hitting like maybe some of the, you know, the jump down rooms on like customs and stuff when you jump off the balcony to get to second floor and stuff. If it's going to affect some of those tricks for some of your more veteran players, you know, so I'm curious if vaulting comes in, is it going to get rid of some of that stuff for sure?
If they're gonna put, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean somebody in chat, Cheat Turtle just mentioned it, or Thick Turtle just mentioned it as well.
Thick Turtle.
If they're gonna put vaulting in, they need to make it where if you're overweight, you can't vault, or your vaulting is much slower, or maybe you take fall damage from a vault or something. You know what I mean? You can't just vault. They can't make it where you just vault like as if you have no gear on versus you're 85 kilograms.
Right. Right. So weight has to play. So your ability to recover should be slower if you've got a backpack full of shit on you.
I mean, that sounds like something they would do, especially at
Right.
this point. I doubt
yeah.
that they're going to release it to the point where it's smooth if you're not heavy. You know? So I think that we'll see
It
that.
should play into the inertia. Yeah, like, I mean, you know, if you're in a mid fight and you refuse to drop your backpack and you're weighing 60 kilos and you go to stop at a corner, your PMC moves 6 inches past that corner, you know, and if somebody's watching that corner, you're dead. So I would expect them to do something along those lines as far as with vaulting as well, is create some type of inertia movement after the action.
I would agree as well. So
Imagine if you fell over. Like, you ever
That'd be
try to get up with a
hilarious.
bunch of stuff on you and you just like can't do it? And yeah, imagine.
they talked a lot about sound. It was kind of like the first time that they admitted that the sound was. They know the sound's really. They know how bad the
Absolute
sound is
cheeks.
right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad Nikita said he gave up on Steam Audio, and that they're moving over with was it Quest or Oculus or whatever?
Oculus Audio.
Yeah.
And that's. I don't know what works best for them. I will be honest. I think Steam Audio was better than what we have now. But
Oh, definitely.
whatever works for them in the long run is that's great. But with a lot of these issues they talked about with like core game being messed up, etc., like walls not registering as walls because they talked about transitioning in and out of buildings and how that works. And right now there's basically a switch. You're either listening to outside sound or inside sound. Talked about reverb and distance fixes, which, reverb inside rooms. Well, if that stuff's not coded correctly, and I feel like Interchange is probably one of the biggest offenders of this, is there's got to be things in Interchange that aren't coded correctly, and that's why the sound is so bad. There's got to be floors that aren't interacting with the sound system that are saying we're floors. But it was interesting because they did bring up Interchange as an example of how they're trying to section everything off and create rooms for the sound system and how it's going to interact. So it was really cool to see them actually show something that they're doing to work on it and show like, hey, we're creating these rooms for our new sound system. I think that was awesome to see that, and I think that's the kind of thing that I wish they would do more often, would be like, this is something we are working on, instead of being like, yeah, we're working on it. They actually showed something that says, hey, this is us working on this. This is an example of it. And I hope that they continue to do that with things in the future.
Yeah.
So is it-
Apparently, every box has to be hand drawn, apparently.
Yeah.
So has
It would take
anybody
a lot of
played?
resources.
Yeah. Has anybody played Reserve since they did the sound update on Reserve?
No.
I haven't either, because I remember when me and Fudge were playing before the the technical update, and we were doing that to kill the scavs in the barracks area.
Mhm.
We were hearing people fighting. We were sitting in Black Pond, and we were hearing people as if they were next to us fighting in D2,
Yeah.
running up dome stairs, and it's just like, what is this audio?
Yeah.
Like, has that been fixed since? I mean, I haven't played Reserves. There ain't no reason going to Reserve because D2 ruined it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Everything that I've seen, it's been fixed greatly.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's perfect. It's kind of like Shoreline. It's kind of like the resort. The audio's been, I feel like it's been improved, like probably 75%. Like it's substantially better.
Okay.
But it's not. It's like it's still buggy. It's not perfect. But I don't think that you're getting those crazy audio bugs like you were before. And I will not go to that map again the rest of this wipe. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Interchange and Reserve have been the worst for me with audio. I know a lot of people said that Shoreline audio is improved, and still not great. I think that, audio is a big frustration for people. I think some people it's a bigger frustration than even cheaters. I would
So
argue
bad.
that for me, our audio is more important to me than fixing the cheater situation.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I
it's
agree.
it's really really bad when you don't even hear audio until you basically see the PMC. It's just it, it really is unbearable. It's a you have two senses in this game. You have your sight and your sound. One of your senses is completely screwed up, ass backwards, not functioning correctly. Literally half your ability to play the game is impaired. So it's tough, man.
For me, it was always desync,
hmm
and then audio, and then the cheaters. Like the cheater, I don't care. The cheaters, they're gonna be there. It's whatever. It's just part of gaming in general. But
Yeah.
like, if you can't get a handle on desync, then it feels like you're getting cheated, even if you're not getting cheated. And then like, if
Definitely.
you can't get a handle on the audio, like how are you supposed to deal with desync and audio? Like you just can't. You just throw your hands up and it's like, what do you do?
Go play Hello
there's,
Kitty Island Adventure.
Yeah.
there's too many sources that my anger is being directed towards. You know, and it's just, that's why I say I blame all my deaths on everything except my own stupidity, because it's literally, every death is just like, I don't know anymore at this point. Like, just get a kid on and go to the next raid. I hope I have better fun next time.
Yeah, for sure, and that's the way you have to do it. I think if you're getting super upset about the game because you can't hear people or whatever, and you can't move on to the next match, either take a break or take a temporary break from the game for a little while, chill out, or just take a long-term break until it gets fixed. Which we hope that it does. We hope that what we're hearing now is that they're fixing it. I mean, the audio thing, they were kind of like, we're working on it. He really didn't give us an ETA on that audio thing, which is the kind of frustrating. He didn't say
Well, I
next
didn't
patch
have
audio
one.
is going to be better.
They did say that they were allotting like how much of their resources towards optimization, and I think that's huge.
Right.
Because it's like they're gonna be taking a huge chunk of their workforce and throwing it into optimization versus like just pumping out new broken content all the time.
Right, and right. Which gets us to the next point. They showed us some new stuff. Overall, AK-12, whatever. Like the new guns, the 9x39 sub, the AVT rifle. AVT rifle looks like it's gonna be,
It's the new Mosin.
It's the new Mosin, They had the Scar with the Scar GL. Actually looked sick with the Scar with the GL, but I'm sure it's going to operate like trash because it's going to weigh 700 pounds. Talk about new boss on Streets, which I found interesting. I've been playing a lot of Streets lately. That Lexos is basically going to be like a scab boss stronghold. It'll be interesting. Like they were like, "Oh, you really going to want to go there?" Well, if it's like the start of every wipe, I'm going to love to go there because the bosses aren't going to be there most of the time. Because it was like the loot's going to be
5%
juiced.
Spawn rate.
Right. He's like, the loot is going to be juiced, but, do you want to fight the scab bosses and their goons? Like, sure, I would love to, because they're not going to spawn in anyway. Like, that's kind of how I feel about it, At least for the first few weeks of wipe, I'll be running it, everybody will be like, oh, the scab boss could be there. But like, he's not there. He's got a 3% spawn rate. Let me go in there and let me go in there and get looted.
I've seen the goons and I've seen bosses on my scav more than my PMC has.
Yeah. When it got to the guns, Nikita, he must not be working with that team a lot, because he did say, I don't know if you guys heard this, but he said, I believe he said PMK is going to be in the game, that the boss is going to have a PMK LMG.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome, but I'm also scared of that gun, because if anybody's played any other games, PKM, can destroy people.
Yeah, but they also they need another LMG because they have a machine gun section,
right,
with only the RPK.
Well, and they and they don't even have that's not even the real LMG RPK version.
It's technically a machine gun, though.
Right. So, all the guns and stuff. The US. What is it? The USK sniper. He didn't say which chambered in. I'm not sure if it's gonna be. I'm almost wondering if it's gonna be chambered in 9x39. Yeah, it's the mid RPK. It's not the regular machine RPK. I wasn't super impressed by any of the gun stuff. A lot of people got really all pumped up about the AK-12. Again, they added some guns, they're doing some stuff, whatever. It just means more ammo for more calculations, for more, collateral damage mistakes. As far as I'm concerned, if anybody's seen my
Doesn't matter. Everything's going to
collateral
overpin.
damage,
Yeah. We definitely needed more AKs in Escape from Tarkov. There's not enough.
I did like them giving us a preview of the armor.
That was cool. Yep.
Very cool.
I was confused about that when he was talking about like features that were going to be DLC versus not.
Mm-hmm.
And like, was he talking about like armor customization was going to be DLC? That didn't make sense to me though, because he was talking about like
he was rambling. Yeah, I think he was. I think at that point he was rambling. Again with the guns too. He's like, "What gun is this? What ammo is it gonna put out? Blah blah blah." So like, I mean, I think that's gonna be
what's in that vape
the regular
juice?
game.
He's you see how much he was just vaping clouds?
Huge clouds.
I think the language barrier. I think he was talking about more like aesthetic wise of customization.
Yeah.
Right.
Being a part of like a DLC. Which I mean, it would be kind of great. Like, yeah, we get to 1.0, we start dropping DLCs. Ghillie aesthetics would be kind of fucking cool. In my opinion, because yeah. I mean, you already have the ghillies. They just sit in the bush and they're ghillied up already. I mean, it would be definitely
any bear camo is a ghillie, basically.
Right. I mean, there's camos that you can hardly see people in bushes anyway. That's why you gotta start running more thermals.
People a ghillie, you're gonna just have people in grass the whole time, more than you do now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna give people ghillies. Who knows what that's
loading
gonna
up reshade. We're gonna take that grass away.
Well, they're supposed to be bringing spray paint in. That's planned, right? Like spray paint, but you have to find it in game. That's what I've heard a couple times.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but how is that gonna work?
I have no idea.
Bring it out, put it on your workbench, and
I think it's gonna be like
gun.
something you get, and then you can use it for spraying camo on your guns.
Workbench.
So it looked like in the menus, we're gonna be able to have the ability to have loadouts when you do your loadouts. Hopefully, it's gonna make loadouts faster, quality of life stuff. You didn't go to detail how it's gonna work, but I mean, how do you guys feel about being able to pick loadouts or I don't know if it's gonna be 100% loadout. It looked like you might be able to name your loadout, or the other thing looked like it's at least going to show you what's available in your inventory and just snap it on your guy.
Yep, I say good. Absolutely amazing. The less time spent clicking around in your inventory, the better for this game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I look forward to like 80 trillion inventory item not found errors on the first patch. Cannot wait for that. Can't wait for that. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I've been getting them a lot lately.
Coupled with the back end as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talked about desync. They're doing a lot of optimizations, network and game wise. They're redoing the core of the game. But we'll see. I mean, again, we have to remember they're going to release Unity 2021. It's going to have a bunch of bugs. And it's how they handle fixing some of that stuff is going to be the biggest thing. Like the invisibility bug felt like it took them way too long to fix it. Fudge, you got something?
Yeah. Keep going. When you're done, I want to throw something out there.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of done.
So you have the floor now.
You got the floor now. We're already.
He's got to go to the bathroom.
No. I would just do that sitting here. Come on. No. One thing that I was very like, what the hell are they doing? What are they talking about? Type thing was the recoil that they were talking about.
Okay.
With the changes.
Mm-hmm.
Am I too early to go into this, or
that was next on the list? So good job.
Okay,
you got my notes. You got to
just jump
hack into my back cam or something.
So hear me out, right? Didn't they just fix the fucking recoil? Like a month ago?
They didn't fix it.
They nerfed the piss out of it.
Yeah.
There was a
They didn't-
huge uproar from the community. They go, oh, okay, gave a recoil deduction to all these guns. And then now they're like, hey, we're going to fix the recoil. My immediate thought was, they're going to fuck it up. They're going to ruin it.
Yeah.
Probably.
So what Nikita said is they want to make it more like IRL, which if they make it IRL, Fudge, you're going to love it.
Why?
But
Because you're gonna be a laser beam.
because you're gonna be because a lot of these guns, especially subs are gonna be laser beams. M4s are gonna be laser beams, especially if they're a fully built M4 and you put a ton of time into them. They're not doing anything. Like they're just laser beams overall. Like my, and granted this is semi-auto, but you know, I could put a intelligent and safe 10-year-old on my firearm at the range and they could shoot it and they would be like, wow, this feels like nothing. Because it does. When it's properly built, there isn't a lot of recoil. You know? And hopefully that's the way that it works. You know? Go watch some videos of people mag dumping online, you know, out at ranges, and you're gonna be like, why aren't they not aiming 3 feet up in the air like I do in Tarkov if I don't drag down super hard? You know, these are military contractors that shoot these things all the time. They should know how to handle them. You know, like one of my things that I hate now is, yes, MP7 is a laser, but that first shot still jumps up. What, you scare the guy every time he shoots the MP7? My PMC, like the muzzle jump, like fires one shot.
Flip is crazy.
Shot 2, 3, or 2 feet high.
Yeah, recoil like 4 wipes ago when VSS and HK was pretty much, I mean, we'll say it was the meta. I think across all the guns, the recoil was fine. The only reason why the HK and the VSS were obviously meta is because their rounds were more damaging, right? But I mean, yeah, this whole I've never seen an M4 jump 3 feet while you're pulling the trigger on it. It's like, why is this happening?
Yep. So I haven't shot an M4, but I've been AR-15, and I mean, there's not a lot of recoil at all. Even when I just blam, 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 there's not a lot of kick, man. And
that is
crazy
Chad. Chad is dad.
The recoil that they put in this game.
Yeah.
I hope they do something with the 300 blackout to actually make it viable, because that round should be
disgusting.
Really, really good. It should be really, really, really good. And that gun is just total garbage.
Yeah. So I think there's some things that are way off with recoil. They improved it, but all they did was take a broken recoil system and then squish it together so the recoil patterns are tighter and change the angle that you view it from in the game. They didn't rework the recoil. They just put a Band-Aid on it, basically.
Right.
So if they rework the recoil system, if it's a little bit more random, if you leveling up recoil with your, you know, we have the leveling for per firearm or leveling up recoil control. Leveling recoil control should level up pretty quickly, in my opinion. And it should do a significant amount for you. You know, I think that's the big thing, is recoil control should be an effective statistic in the game. When you're level 1 Timmy, yeah, maybe you're the first guy right off the boat. You haven't shot thousands of rounds. But by the time you're level 30, you should know what you're doing. You know when you hold the gun up. You're not afraid of it anymore. You're shooting a kill because it's life or death situation. You know, like that's the way that it should be. Should there still be recoil on guns? Yes. Should an Ash 12 and those big guns still kick like a mule? Yeah. I would even argue that an Ash 12 probably didn't kick enough at a certain extent for what it is.
Right.
You know, and then some of the other guns that I think kick a lot because they're powerful probably kick too much. Like when you're using the MK18, it's not going to kick that much. There's a lot of weight there, and there's a lot of gas there to make it from, you know, if you guys ever try to shoot that in succession, it's like you're shooting toward the sky. It's shooting up 1.5 feet if you don't let it settle back down. So I think that I would like to see those, you know, that fixed. I see in chat someone's talking about iron sights. I would love to see them fix iron sights in this game. You can't. Have you guys? I mean, we've all tried to use iron sights in this game at some point. Some guns you can use with a front only iron sight and it works. But if you put a back one on, it doesn't work. Other guns don't shoot where the iron sights are at all. I would love to see iron sights fixed. If I'm only 20 meters away from somebody, I should be able to gun them down with iron sights in Tarkov, and you can almost not do it. What are your guys' thoughts on iron sights?
Well, I mean, yes, I would love iron sights to make a comeback. 100%. I love popping things with iron sights because it just gives you that gratification. But I think with the Unity 2021 implementation, I think they need to get rid of the fog of war that they implement on the maps because it kills scope capabilities. It kills just everything, your whole environment in regards to like seeing people, seeing movement. You know, your load is all fucked. You know, your LOD is all messed up. You can't even see AI correctly. You know, when you have MVGs on. Why can I see a dude 800 yards away with my MVGs on, but as soon as I scope in on him, all I see is pitch black, you know?
Yep. Which they just made a good change on an interchange, but only indoors. Outdoors, it's still butthole with a bunch of fog. So
and in indoors, it's still there. It's still there on the indoors. It's just less apparent. You know?
You just get rid of it entirely.
Yeah, I mean, because the fog is like the level of fog is like if there's a little bit of fog, it's affecting you way too much. I get there can be thick fog that really limits your visitation, but there should be either super thick fog that limits you or no fog at all because they can't get the fog left in between. You know, either give me 50 miles of visibility or 500 feet of visibility. Because you can't do the 1 or 2 mile visibility sort of thing. Like, you guys just fail at that, and you're never going to nail it. Just get rid of it.
Yep. So maybe fog on the water-based maps like Shoreline and Lighthouse, right? Because they're literally right next to a body of water. But, like, why does Interchange have crazy amounts, you know, like, or why did it have crazy amounts of fog? Same thing with Reserve. I mean, we know the answer why. My point is, if you're looking to model realism, fog would be more appropriate on maps next to bodies of water.
Yes.
Right.
At certain times of the day too, like early mornings. You know, when the heat is you know starting to catch on the whole map. That's when you start seeing your fog, and as time passes, it dissipates. You know, I mean, it's the same thing with the interchange. Like, using any type of NVGs, the civilian types from Peacekeeper or not, you can't use NVGs on interchange at night. It's the grain is so impacting on the eye. Like, you can't tell whether you're looking at something moving or if it's just the film grain from the MVGs. Whatever they did on that map, it kills being able to run at night.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully we see some improvements on that. Again, what they did in Interchange, good. But like I said, and a lot of people like hyped it up. They're like, oh, it's so much better. It's better. That's if you were talking about a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being exactly where the lighting and interchange feels like it should be. And they moved it from a 1 to a 3 to me, in my opinion.
I've been having a lot of fun on interchange with
but the lighting, they got rid of the fog and the dark areas aren't as dark, but the lighting on that map is still cheeks. That's the way that I feel about it. The lighting on that map is still
you can see all the way
garbage.
across it though now.
My fights are a lot more enjoyable in interchange now because of the lighting. Because I can see people. Yeah,
you can see people, but I still think that the lighting effects should still be a lot better in the areas where there's glass in the ceiling and it's the sunniest day. You can't make it's no difference in interchange. It's either like bright, overcast, or it's nighttime. That's what you get with interchange, and I would like to see some changes be made to that on that map. Other maps have some of that stuff, especially where like the sun is positioned and stuff that I really don't feel like I get a lot of on interchange, with the exception of the front window when the sun is setting and you get glare.
I got a question for you guys with the new lighting and stuff that they rolled out. Have you guys noticed like more eye strain playing specific maps? recently because I noticed like for me personally, I find my with the way the weather is and stuff because you guys know how they rolled it out and it was just all stormy, doom, gloom for the basically the whole first day.
Mhm.
When I was running through my raids that first day, is like my eyes were kind of when I'm scanning and looking for movement and stuff. I felt like I was straining my eyes a bit more. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to it, or
No. Get yourself some blue light glasses.
I wear gamer advantage glasses. Fudge.
Did you use code FUDGE at checkout?
No, I use code Bobber. Thank you.
That's fucked up.
So can I plug my Only Sailors now?
Yes.
Ah, goodness gracious! Here we are. Everybody's gonna plug their own stuff. We can do that at the end, boys. No, I mean, I think that it's good, but I still think that there's a lot of work that needs to be done there with the ambient lighting and how the lighting's interacting. Again, we go back to the sound and the boxes. It's like light doesn't. It's like, you know, that Lion King thing. You know, where it's like, oh, we don't go over there. That's where the dark area. We don't go there, Simba. There's places in Interchange that are still like that. Are they pitch black now? No, but they're still dark and they shouldn't be that dark. There's areas in that map where it's just like, okay, there's a window there, so it's light. And then all of a sudden, you know, like you take 4 more steps and it's super dark. And like, that's the things that kind of drive me nuts about that map when it could be even better than what we have now. They improved it, but it could be so much better than that. Overall, you know, that nighttime in that map, daytime and nighttime in that map should look significantly different. And I don't think that they look as different as they should. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, especially
I think they do. I've done in the past couple of days. I've done a lot of Interchange, and I think as far as day and night separation on Interchange now, it is a big difference.
And I think the biggest thing for me is when you turn the lights on, when power goes on. You know,
I think that'd be
you
cool
can't
if they
shoot a bunch of
brightened the
those
whole
lights
thing
out.
up to a preset determination when power's on, whether it be day or night. Like,
right, there should be like a night interchange and day interchange when the light's on. You know, Interchange is my most played map last wipe there, Moosh. So you can get out of here. And actually, I think I played Interchange more than Woods last wipe. I used to be a reserve main, but now they added D2, so we don't play that anymore.
Yeah, the whole time that I was running through the broken before this last patch, and I really like this last patch. By the way, I mean, other than like the flashlights being broken, I felt
Which
like
they fixed
this
already.
last patch that and like honestly, like them rolling out, this was probably like the least buggy patch I feel like that they've rolled out like that I can remember. You know what I mean? Like you dealt with flashlights being buggy for a couple days.
Yeah.
And like that was it. But they improved the audio on the 2 maps they said they were going to improve the audio on. They got rid of the fog on Interchange, like inside anyways. You know, like I get it that dark places are still dark, but like realistically, they rolled out a lot of what they said they were going to roll out with very minimal bugs, in my opinion. And I like Interchange because I'd rather overhear than under here. And like when I was running reserve and you can't hear anything, and if you happen to spawn underground, then your whole raid's bugged. It's like chalked.
Yeah.
Then you can I don't know if it's technically if it's abuse or what, but like when you're playing Interchange and you can hear everything, doesn't matter what level you're at. If you're better than the other players around you, you can just use that to your advantage. It's just easy. You can chase people down because you can hear them. Doesn't matter what floor they're on. They should be able to outflank you. But since audio's broken, you're like, oh, well, obviously they're not up here with me. I'm going down to them now.
Yeah, but I mean, it's frustrating if you're fighting a player that also is thinking the same thing, right? If you're like, well, I'm going to use this to my advantage, and he's trying to do the same thing to you. It's kind of like a big runaround. But I mean, that's so So a lot of things that they did address, and some people are coming in late, is they did address the desync. They did address game optimizations down all the way to the core game, which is big. And they did talk about audio and at least showed what they're trying to do with audio and what they want to do with audio, and at least admitted that it was that it's pretty scuffed right now. And unfortunately, I have this feeling that for a long time, and maybe it was like finally they hit like a crossing point where they were like, yeah, we need some help to come in and optimize things, you know, and maybe it was like finally like they were like, we're in over our head. And I think when they switched from Steam audio to the Oculus audio, like, was that needed? I don't even know. Maybe they got to a point where they were so frustrated with audio, like, how do we fix this? And now they've realized that it's not on the audio engine they're bringing into their game, it's on their game itself. And I think that's what I got about that.
Recall that the Oculus audio was, what, half the maps had it actually balanced? So it just seemed like, my perception is that it was kind of just pulled out of their back pocket, right? Like, like they just were like, oh, I guess it's time. I would have preferred, personally, if they had just kept Steam audio until the Oculus audio was better sorted out. But
yeah,
somebody made that call.
I think there was some politics involved there with
you
the
think so?
organization.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But even then, Nikita was like, we're trying to combine their game into the Oculus audio, because the Oculus audio system outside of their game they know is a good audio system. They need to figure out how to integrate it into their game properly. And I think
that's what he was saying.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, but could they have done the same thing with Steam audio? Who knows? I really don't know. It's totally up to speculation. But it is frustrating that we've had some of the worst audio ever since they tried to put in Steam audio the first time. And it broke all the audio really bad. And then the second time they brought it in, and it was like they fixed what they had broken a little bit. And now, where we are now, where it's very, very broken in a lot of places. And I hate that journey, and I can see the pitchforks in chat. They're like, fix desync, fix audio. Like, how are you gonna fix lighting when audio's not fixed? Well, if they have a team that's doing, and this is the thing, if you have a team that's doing audio, the audio specialists might not be lighting specialists. So they might have no idea how audio codes, so you're like, well, go work on the lighting. And then those guys finish first. And now they brought in some lighting. At least they're rolling out some fixes in the meantime as they complete them.
And it was cool they gave like a physical presentation on like, these are all the rooms, this is all the color coding, like we have to go in there and individually work on all this stuff, and it takes a lot of resources and a lot of manpower, versus just like general population might not have any kind of idea like what all it takes to improve audio, and I feel like it's a lot, like a lot,
Yeah,
it's a big fix,
right? Yeah, we talk about hype cycle. Cam brought that up. I would say there's definitely, and you talk about transparency. We've talked about that in this podcast. There's been, in the past, they haven't been very transparent. I would say this is the first time where I felt like they were super transparent on what they're trying to do. But anytime any game releases a patch or content and promises something, everybody gets hyped up. I don't care the game, and I don't care the community. COD community does it all the time. We're rolling out a new patch. We're going to rebalance the guns. It's going to be awesome. Everyone gets excited.
Transparent. Right.
Apex does it. They're like, oh, we're going to make some adjustments. You guys have been complaining this character's too overpowered. We're going to rebalance them. And then everybody's pissed because they balanced that one into the dirt. It's no longer viable. And now there's another character that's overpowered. Like every game has this problem. There's other games that do like wipe cycles and stuff like that, like Path of Exile's on a new wipe cycle, and there's already people that have their pitchforks about what they released when they released the game. every game goes through that cycle of, new content or fixes, or why haven't they fixed this? I mean, COD community is still complaining about why their game crashes and why Nvidia's causing their game to crash, and it's still not
And cheaters
fixed.
too.
And cheaters too. You
Yep.
know, every game goes through it, and COD was quiet on that one too. They were like, oh, crashing, just do X, Y, and Z, and maybe that'll help until we can figure it out. And that was it for months, and it's still happening with people. So
Even before that, we've had content creators finding fixes before most of these developers are, and just getting a lot of traction on their channels as far as like, hey, this is what works for me. And then the developers are like, okay, I guess we'll own up to our mistakes, and then we'll actually give you the fix while we're fixing the issue.
yeah, I feel like today was the first time they admitted some mistakes, and they like, I don't recall during the podcast today where Nikita was like, audio's going to be fixed soon. I don't recall that. Did I miss that?
Well,
No.
I think they kind of had their backs against the wall on this one. I think they had an overwhelming amount of negative PR. I mean, first you had the Veritas, like, game's broken, and everybody is like, oh, God, right? It's terrible. We need the fixes. We need recoil changes. And then he made the video, it blew up, whole community. Yeah, great. Then after that, you had the wiggle that killed Tarkov. And that, like, crushed the community for a hot minute. Everybody was out with pitchforks. I had people that I haven't spoken to in like a year sitting me DM me, hey, you see this video? Like, I saw that video last week. But my point is like there was a huge negative PR move. So much so that Nikita hopped on Reddit for damage control. And basically at this point, they're trying to turn this ship around after heading into Nopesville.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is I love what they're doing. I think they kind of got pushed into this reaction though, because in other words, why didn't they do this behavior sooner?
Right.
But that being said, I'm not going to sit here and just criticize them. I definitely think that Battlestate deserves praise for continuing to show transparency.
Right.
I'm just pointing out the fact that I think it was recent events that caused this.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree
The-
with that. 100%.
The biggest thing for the community now, for me, is if they continue this. If they continue this kind of transparency, like, we're making progress on this, and don't overpromise and underdeliver, but be transparent. That's all I want.
Right.
Because they've overpromised and underdelivered pretty much every single time.
I wish they would have spoke about the launcher hack. How
I
it
made a
happened.
video on that, actually.
I don't think that would have helped at all if they spoke on it.
It wouldn't have, but did you guys ever go to the website that was involved? Because I actually did a little research project into this.
No,
No.
I didn't even click that link. I was like, nope.
So I gave my PC Ligma, and it was worth it. Basically, here's the TLDR. It goes to a website that I'll just call Zell. Zell is a cheats discussion, an account, like cracked accounts and like keylogger discussion, all of that forum, and it's tied to a automated marketplace that I'll just call LOL. So this way I don't want to give like, any sort of presence to the websites. But there's a marketplace called LOL that touts itself to be the first ever automated account sharing marketplace. And so basically, it uses, I believe, the blockchain to hold the account on one end, and it functions as an automatic middleman. And then you pay money for the, and you get the account without anybody having to vet or do the transaction. It's all done through, I assumed, some sort of blockchain smart contract or something. I didn't actually try to buy it. But here's the interesting part. There were two profiles listed there. One of them was a guy who was obviously a computer programmer, and the other one was an account that was basically a bunch of numbers at the end, and it said, warning, this user has recently changed their profile. So what I think happened, this is just my theory, I think that the guy that Battlestate put as a plant on that website, they discovered who it was, and that second profile that they put up was was like the Battlestate profile, and they're basically saying, haha, we caught your mole, right? And then what happened was somebody asked the guy who did the unauthorized access to the admin profile how he did it. I have the screen grab in the video, and he says that it was the website. They log into a website and they use this website to set what appears on the launcher. So he said that he got access to the admin panel, and that's how he did it. And then he wouldn't. He was asked if it was difficult, and the response to that was "Don't ask." And then the last question that was asked was, "Do you think the person behind this will get banned?" And then he responded, "No." So it really is an interesting thing that happened with the launcher. Now, mind you, some of that's my own speculation. I don't know if that's true. Okay, all I know is I went there. I went to the website. I observed the profiles, and I found these two profiles, and it's basically a account selling site tied to a cheats discussion and cheat like production site. And that's what happened. I think it's part of the war of the cheaters versus battle state. So
what you're saying basically what you're saying is they allowed themselves to take a dive down the rabbit hole to figure out where it went to get to the source.
no, so I'm saying that I think there was unauthorized access, but I'm also saying that they may. I don't know. That's just my own theory crafting. I don't know. I suspect that they had a mole on that website to try to keep tabs on these people. That's just the only way it makes sense to me. Why was there a second profile that had the information changed recently? And clearly, this whole thing was to humiliate Battle State. That's why they changed this info on the launcher and get free promo, right? So I don't know though. Again, I don't know any of this. It's just like theory crafting in my head. But
Well,
what
I
I
mean-
can say, yeah, for certain is the profile was hijacked through the admin panel. That's what I know for a fact.
Well, I mean that theory kind of goes along the lines of did you guys take time to read Nikita's PR attempt on the Reddit, all the questions that he answered?
I
There
read
was
some of it.
Yeah, so I read them all. So there's a lot of questions about, do you know who's cheating before you ban, blah, 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 blah. And Nikita did say, like, there are certain cheaters they're keeping tabs on that are still in the game, that they're collecting information from those cheaters so that they can combat, more cheaters, essentially. So that kind of goes in line of what Captain K is saying in regards to if they had a mole inside one of these high tier, cheat providers, that could be, this high tier cheat provider is like, you know what, we caught your mole, we're gonna blast you guys, and it's kind of like you said, it's a battle now. We're gonna probably see some other things along the lines of that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like no. Well, I mean, and that's how we've gotten a lot of information about cheaters in the past, right? Is somebody got into the cheater Discord, right? Somebody was like, yeah, I want cheats, and then they got into the cheater Discord to find out who was in there, and then be like, hey, I know that person.
You got
Or that person's a streamer,
Yeah.
right? So,
Right.
I mean, it makes sense if like investigative content creators are doing it to get information. Why wouldn't Battlestate do the same thing?
Correct. It's spying on your enemies. So I think that I've been told that some of the cheat discords are ultra private and they have to vet you before they sell to you.
Right.
Because they don't want their stuff to get patched.
Right, because it makes it harder for them. And then if what Nikita said today is, it's going to be infinitely harder for them to patch and get those cheats in.
How is that going to work? Are they using AI? Did you see that YouTube video about AI and how AI is going to be used to automatically develop profiles and stop cheating? There's like a new company. If you haven't seen it, I'll send you the vid afterwards. But there's basically, I'm wondering if that's what he's talking about, is like AI is now joining the fight.
I mean, who knows?
That would be so cool.
Right. It would be cool.
Imagine
it's
if
like Skynet
AI
Robot Wars. Yeah.
AI did away with cheating 100%.
The problem with that is dealing with a little bit of AI stuff that I've dealt with already. Is as soon as somebody gets a hold of that AI's code, they can create their own AI to combat it.
Right. So now it's AI Wars.
So
You plug the hole, we unplug the hole.
right, exactly. So I mean, it's going to be back and forth, but the problem is how advanced of an AI are they using? How fast does it, progress, et cetera, et cetera. AI is an interesting thing that's can be kind of scary because it can be just like all those movies that are out there. But in small doses, I think it's very helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
So-
far away, I think. I don't think we're anywhere near. The video that I was watching, it's just a prototype. It's an idea. It's not nearly like they're still developing and training it, but it might be the future of anti-cheat.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think we can all agree that cheating needs to go, but I think we can also all agree that it's a continuous problem, right? It's like a subscription to Microsoft Office that just won't get canceled. They just keep billing you.
Norton antivirus.
Yeah, it just keeps going. Like I've canceled my credit card. They found the new credit card. I don't know how they charged it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I also wonder how many people are cheating because they're like, if you can't beat them, join them.
Oh yeah, I think the Wiggle that killed Tarkov. I don't think it was its goal, but I think a side effect was a lot of people were like, "Dude, I'm joining them." Like I have, at least this is anecdotal. On my TikTok comments, I see a lot of, whenever I post like cheating update posts, I see a lot of like, "This is why I cheat now," or "Yeah, I used to play legit, and now I cheat too." You know, and I see a lot of like the usual games dog shit, you know, stuff like that.
Right.
But it really does show me that there are some people who are so disenfranchised with the game that they're just like, dude, I'm not gonna play legit. They're not.
Right. And again, I still don't think it's like I think one thing did the math and he's like, look, it's even if it's that percentage,
Mhm.
if you have one cheater in that many percentage of your raids, it still comes out to a very small percentage of the overall player base.
Right.
And the problem is so the good about the video is that, yeah, cheating is maybe a bigger problem than some people thought. But on the other thing, you know how many times I've been called a cheater in the last 2 weeks?
Oh, dude, it's hilarious.
Someone comes, everything, anytime I kill somebody, like 3 times this week, somebody comes into my chat, they're like, cheater. What? Like,
You beat me, bro.
Why would I cheat?
You were
'Cause
cheating.
Right.
You are, Dad. Like,
And it's
Nice
yeah.
credit card. Yeah, you are. You actually have
Yeah.
radar on. I see it on the reflection of the glass
Mhm.
behind you.
how
Yeah.
else can we explain 5 PMC kills like every raid when we run
Yeah.
3 PSHs?
Yeah.
Zip lining
right.
to the LEDXs. Yeah.
Yeah. I killed guys the other day that had a LEDX. They were scavs, and I killed them, and they were super
I
mad
bet.
and accused me of cheating.
Yeah, you lasered them.
Yep. So I do find it. So they're hit, and it's annoying. They come to your chat, and the problem is, inversely, it's a society thing for cheating. Is those guys are like, look, I just died to this guy. He's cheating. You know what? F him. I don't like that guy, especially in a streamer thing. They're like, I'm gonna grief him. I'm gonna go buy cheats, and I'm gonna out cheat him. And I think that happens sometimes.
When it all
And
costs.
that's the thing is you get people that don't care and they think everybody else is doing it, so they're definitely going to do it themselves. Does it happen all the time? No, but I guarantee you that it's happened several times. We died, I know Mooj is in chat, we died to one dude, back-to-back raids, to the point, and I actually died to him 3 times in the same week. To the point where I think he was purposely cheating and purposely trying to get into my particular raids to ruin my specific experience, which is wild to me that I could make that sort of impression on somebody, even if it's a negative one at this point with the little reach that I have in Tarkov. But I was like, yo, this dude showed up 3 times over the past week, 2 times in back-to-back raids, and is definitely cheating. Like, what did I do to this guy? You know, so there's gonna
I
be
just
more
feel
of
sorry
those.
for all the white name accounts because
Auto
Lightning.
report.
Gotta be
Dude,
cheating.
You don't have
and
$160 for Tarkov? Cheater.
I hate that I'm following it. Like I don't report all the time, but it's one of those when I see that white name immediately, it's like I hate that it's in my head. That dude
Yeah.
must have been cheating.
I
And
would
then I look
never
at-
report somebody just for having a white name.
Oh well, you're more holy than I.
And then when I
Yeah.
progress,
Every time, baby.
I was being wildly facetious.
and then when you progress to the next screen and it's 855 to the head 6 times, and you're like, maybe he was cheating. I don't know.
If
Oh.
I die to you and you have a white name, I don't care if I looked you in the eyes and you hatcheted me. I am 100%
Dude, you're
reporting
cheating.
you for cheating.
You're absolutely cheating.
You're terrible. You guys are terrible. So, I mean, overall, this is my take. Good transparency. Better transparency. Things to look forward to. on the horizon. And I think overall I liked what I saw. The things that I'm gonna be cautious about
Hitboxes is what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Tarkov has notoriously overpromised and underdelivered. And even on this, even though they showed us all the stuff and it looks all great, is this going to be another case of overpromise and underdeliver? You know, when they're like, we're going to make frames. Actually, we've got the perfect one right here. I got the perfect clip. Hold on.
The paper says there will be FPS. You must believe the paper. It's pretty important.
The paper says.
Yeah.
The FPS.
Like,
I
can sign it. We can all sign it.
Always trust the paper. I'm
believe
really
the paper.
meme cut.
When you see the guy reading from the paper, it must be true.
They're all gonna
man.
sign it. Must be true. Must be true. The paper said.
I look, man.
See how gray Nikita's getting, by the way?
Oh yeah, he's so stressed. I
Dude.
gotta say, I know some people don't like him because they see him as an asshole, but I fucking love that man. I think he's hilarious. He's so funny, dude. He's too funny.
We will.
We will.
Yeah, very, very. Yeah, dude, that guy's got a lot of great. Look, if you think about when he started the game, look at pictures of him when he started creating the game to now. He like had no gray hair, and he has all of the gray hair coming through.
Find pictures of him when Contract Wars came out. It's a complete different person.
It looks like a child. It looks like a child compared to what he looks like now. Yeah.
He gained a bunch of weight and then he lost a bunch of weight and he has gray beard hairs. I wonder how much of that's him aging though, right? It's been 6 years. You know, like, dude, I'm when I was 24, I had a lot less gray hairs in my beard than I do now.
Same.
Fair enough.
So,
I mean, stress will cause gray hairs too.
That's true. And he's definitely stressed.
Yeah.
I would be.
He gets
Shit.
stressed all day long, and then he goes home to his house in Russia, and then he opens up his Scrooge McDuck vault, and then just dives into it like it's DuckTales.
Yeah, you know, he drives home in his Mustang. You've seen his Mustang, right?
Drives
he
home
got
in
an
his
AMG now, doesn't he?
Does he?
I think he just bought an AMG.
He's stacked, dude. He's got to be a millionaire.
Yeah,
Well,
and
it's
think
after-
about all the accounts that they banned, and then they put the game on sale. Of course.
That's terrible.
I mean, you
They
gotta
can-
think about
let's
it.
say-
After he gets done talking to, all these famous streamers calling him, and that probably stresses him out too.
After Pesley deposits $69,420 into his bank account every month. But no. Yeah. So people say like they ban the cheaters so that they'll rebuy the accounts. But when I went to that LOL forum, I noticed like you could just buy another account for $8 and start playing on that. Just a jacked account with the email.
Account. Right.
Yeah. And
They
just
don't
cheat on that.
They don't need to put them on sale because they're buying them
Right.
stolen accounts. There's a million games to do that. People do it with like legitimate software keys.
It's not just Tarkov. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all game accounts, Valorant game account, whatever, dude. And some of these game accounts were like in game too. It was pretty wild.
Yeah. You got to realize when the stuff's going on sale, there aren't some cheaters ain't buying $30 accounts and they can buy $5 ones. Like why? Why would they ever do that? Definitely not. So there's always those misconceptions of stuff. I mean, yeah. RMTers and people that are doing it to make money are buying $5 accounts. Maybe Johnny, second year college kid that really loves Tarkov and, doesn't go to any of his classes. He might be buying a legitimate white named copy, but, even
also stolen credit cards. I've heard of like people who buy accounts and like with a stolen credit card, it gets charged back when the person figures out about it. But by that time, the account's probably banned anyways. But I that's just hearsay, but I would imagine that would be a thing too. The point is, these people do not follow the rules. They will skirt and bend around everything. If they snap.
Yo, what is going on? Honey coming through with the thick raid. Everybody from Honey Stream, welcome on in. We're in the middle of talking about TarkovTV today, so guys, welcome. Thank you for the raid,
24-hour podcast incoming.
24-hour podcast.
Honey's a gamer.
He is a gamer.
She She is cracked at this game for the amount of Tarkov experience she has.
Yep, for sure, for sure. So, honey, again, thank you for the raid. Appreciate it.
Dad life! Look at this absolute
Goodness.
Daddy.
Big Pipe is scared.
I'd be
Can't
scared
find
too.
him. Yeah, well, you know, he heard what you do to. Never mind.
He's afraid
Share
of Game of Thrones.
with the class.
something about pipes. Big Pipe just can't perform. Okay,
Let's go.
he's really a small pipe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Limp,
yeah.
limp pipe.
Limp
Micro
pipe, yeah. Limp pipe. There's a curve in that pipe. You know what I'm saying? It just don't feel the same.
He's doing the best he can.
You know.
He's doing the best. Look, he's got a full beard. He's hitting the gym. He's trying.
Look, it's got a very large corn cob on the end of it for smoking, but it's got a very narrow shaft. Okay.
Size of the pipe, guys. Okay, it's not the size of the pipe. Okay,
That's how deep you inhale.
it's how you smoke it.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Jesus.
Anyway, so goodness gracious, what are you guys smoking in your pipes right now? So
Yeah, I'm with you, Fudge.
Y'all motherfuckers need Jesus.
yeah, okay, Fudge. We've heard
Yeah.
some of the stuff you said.
Fudge on a soapbox over here.
Yeah, right.
It's true. It's true. Actually,
He doesn't
Fudge
even
was
know how to
talking about
read.
Yeah,
doing stuff with Gino in Vegas.
Fudge is getting ready to shotgun another Bud Latte over there.
I
Fudge,
don't
are
know.
we doing Borgs? Are we doing Borgs in Vegas, Fudge?
What the fuck is a Borg?
You don't know what a Borg is?
I mean, I might. What's it called? Like, what is it?
A blackout rage gallon.
No, I've never heard of that before, but it sounds
Amazing.
enticing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to get Gino to do one.
Sounds like blackout.
It's like playing 40 hands, but better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
New
feel
age.
like my blackout and everybody else's blackout is a little different.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably.
I don't know about that.
Probably.
Fudge
I
I
can
mean,
drink.
if you're not checking for ticks after your blackout, then you're not doing it right.
Hey,
Oh
yo.
my God. Oh my
I'm just
goodness.
saying.
I don't-
Goodness.
I don't get blacked out because typically the bar runs out of beer before I can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
you're a tank.
Yeah, some
Yeah,
people
can't
some
confirm.
people do Edward 40 hands. Fudge does Edward keg hands.
Yeah, I can't.
He just
I can't do
he
it.
just duct tapes a keg on each hand. He hires he probably would have Gino there keeping the keg pumped up for him. Gino, pump this. I'm drinking out of the charged up one. I could see it now. Oh, one of the other things we didn't cover tonight yet is talking about hideout expansion, which is weird. He was like, we're not doing content, but by the way, we got some
Many
expansions to the
animations,
hideout.
but-
Animations coming.
Animations
So-
are good.
Animations are good. Animations
The-
are
the
good.
great
I'm
process.
looking forward to my PMC scratching his ass while he's sleeping.
I was
That's
about
so
to
great.
say, did you see that? That
Yeah.
ass scratching rough draft? That was amazing.
Dude, that was fucking.
Does that mean we're getting
That's
a
gonna
hideout
win me.
cat?
Yeah.
Are we getting a
Yeah.
hideout cat?
That's gonna sell some copies.
I'll
Hideout
tell you
what,
what.
please. I don't know,
Fucking
man.
hideout stream, 24
Dude,
hours, dude.
I did a TikTok post and it mentioned hideout count, like hideout cat, and it hit like 500,000. So please, for the love
Hi-
of God,
Just give
put
us
hideout cat in the freaking game so that I can make another post and hit another 500K.
They
please.
want the hideout cat, and I want to be able to shoot the damn birds. If I could shoot the birds in this game.
Jaeger Quest, man. You have to have like a
Oh
36x
my
scope,
God.
30 like a Giga Chad scope, super zoomed in, no variable optic, and you have to shoot the birds. You have to kill 3 birds and for like 5 raids straight.
Easy
Please.
claps.
Duck hunt Tarkov, please.
Now fuck that. Let me kill him with a GL.
With
a GL.
The shotgun underbarrel attachment.
All right, I got the
Yes.
the hideout video. Let's check this out. See if I can get it to come up.
Do we have the ass scratching the grayscale one?
No, I don't think so. Ah, whatever this one is.
Definitely not.
No, this is
I think
not
he
it.
put that on Twitter.
My question is
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We're gonna watch this stuff.
Knees. There he goes.
Intense right there.
There he goes. No, it really is a good touch, though. That really is a good touch. It makes it feel... It feels better with the animations.
I think it'd be better if it was like POV. Like
Yeah.
You see your PMC's hand.
Your guy
doing
like
it.
lay down in the bed and stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Like I would like the Hideout if I could sit down on the couch and watch the 2016 trailer for Escape from Tarkov. That would be fucking dope as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can bring this up too. This is what we were talking about with the armor.
Watch my PMC walk around in Crocs. That'd be dope as hell.
Crocs and socks, baby.
Crocs and socks, baby. Put them bitches in 4-wheel drive when you're walking on the range.
Sport mode. I bet Fudge is wearing some Crocs right now.
No, I don't wear shoes when I'm
Oh.
at my PC.
So I mean,
You
this
got them oily toes.
this is really cool.
Exactly.
With the armor,
Under desk
Back-
cam.
under desk cam. Oh, hey now.
Oh yeah.
This I think the
Yeah, that's
most
awesome.
interesting thing about this is it's gonna make these armors. The plates are gonna matter. You could probably
Side
find a
plates,
level
too.
3 plate. You could probably find a level 3 plate. I have a level 3 Gazelle.
Right.
You know, like right now we know Gazelle's level 5, but maybe you have a level 6
Right.
Gazelle because you have level 6 plates, front and back
Right.
plate.
And you're hitting him in the side, but you don't realize he's got the side plates as well, and that increases your weight
Yeah.
and varying durability of front and back plates or side plates.
Right. And my other question is there going to be like we have sewing kits now. Are the sewing kits going to allow you to sew up your vest and keep using your vest, and then
Right.
only the plate durability is going to be the big thing? There's going to probably be a vest durability, right? That you can where you can repair your plate carrier. But then there's going to be a plate durability as well. And again, we go talk about hitboxes. It's probably those hitboxes are going to change. You know, are you hitting the plate area or are you hitting this gap in the shoulder here? So I think that that will be interesting. You know, as far as the game. Now now this is interesting for anybody that's seen my collateral damage video. There's gonna be less armor on the body now, so that's gonna change. Hopefully they fix collateral and pass-through damage before then, because if not, that's gonna wreak havoc if there's still bugs with that when this goes into effect.
Right.
If you're getting damage on 3 or 4 limbs when you should only be getting it on 1.
Right.
Surgery will change first, right? Yeah, I mean, surgery's tough. Surgery's a tough thing. What are your guys' thoughts on surgery right now? I mean, we go back to the real life versus a game. I think that's the biggest thing we have to remember with some of these things. No matter what your opinion on surgery is, right?
So my opinion comes from playing the game with no surgery back in the alpha days, where you got a black limb and you took damage, you were dead. You got your legs blocked in the beginning of raid, you were basically like, oh, time to reset. It's a lot more fun with the CMS and the surgery kits in, but I mean, the whole like realism versus non-realism debate's been beaten to death. But I think the point is that generally there are some situations where the game is just not enjoyable if it's completely realistic at all.
Yeah.
It's just not enjoyable. Getting shot in the leg and then hobbling out and not being able to move after that is not enjoyable when I waited 5 minutes to get in this match and I've already ran 20 minutes in the match.
Yeah.
Or even 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think small changes like allowing you to have, like your armor kits last a long while as long as you're moving out of raid, and just like it sucks right now, right? You can run a Gazelle, but after 3 raids you got to throw it away.
Yep.
If you got shot in those 3 raids,
right?
Because it doesn't repair, and you can't replace the plates. So I think the plate replacement fixes that. And I would
plate
like
replacement in raid, though. Like
I don't know if they're going to allow you to do it
like.
in raid. I would like that.
Right, it should be.
But it would take it would be like a timer thing. It would be just like surgery, right? You'd be held up for whatever, 25 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever in raid to just swap out plates. And you'd have to put plates in your backpack, and it would be super heavy.
Which will weigh you way down. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, have you ever put on I'm sure you put on a plate vest, right? It's heavy.
Yeah. So, I mean, replacing a plate on some carriers is going to be quick. Not every carrier. And not
Right.
if the and the thing is getting the old plate out is going to be the biggest problem. Not getting the
You
next
don't
one
think-
in.
You don't think they'd make it like just like swapping armors? Because like the way the game is right now, like if you kill someone, they got better armor than you. You just boop boop swap real quick.
Right, but if you're changing plates out of a thing, right? If you're changing plates out of a carrier itself, that's going to be harder. So,
yeah. I mean, what would this be? This is like a 2x2, 3x3 inventory space. What is that?
I think 2x2 would be fine.
2x2 is fair, and this probably weighs what, 20, 30 pounds? I don't know. This is a level 4 plate, 10x12. So I mean,
Like maybe 8 pounds.
is it 8 pounds? No way. This feels way heavier.
Is it heavier than a gallon of milk?
Okay, it's
No
not.
way.
30, it's
That's
not
not
30
30
pounds. You're right.
pounds.
Chat's right. 30 pounds is excessive. Maybe 15.
Hey, you
It
guys don't
definitely
know.
feels
Baby
heavy.
Cotton Cave's
No,
strong
that's
as
like-
shit.
That's what is that? Ceramic in materials? Or is it
Uh,
steel?
That's a great question.
If it's ceramic, it's like 8. It's 6 to 8 pounds.
Shellback LLC. I don't know. Prevail plates.
Yeah, I think you need to hit the gym there, Kay.
I agree. I think I'm slacking, dude. I skipped arm day and it's screwing me up.
I would say it's anywhere from realistically 6 to 12 pounds, depending on what class we're talking about.
Right.
You know, which is whatever, 2 to 4 kilos when you
This
get
is
down to it. You know,
This is 15. Oh, dude, it's way less than 15. It's like 10-ish.
okay, yeah.
So 6 to 8.
Something like that. Yeah.
six to 8. I mean, either way. I mean, how many plates can you bring in a raid?
I used to put it in my MBOV, like so.
The the thing with the plates, right, is going to take them, depending on how much damage that plate takes. It could get caught up, and a lot of like the coatings and stuff are going to get raveled in with your fabric and stuff. So taking that plate out when it's damaged is going to be harder. Yes, taking a perfectly undamaged plate out and swapping another plate in isn't going to be that hard. But when they're damaged, they're going to get caught up in the fabric, especially if it's got like aramid and stuff in there that they're using as padding. That aramid is a weave. It's going to get all woven in there. It's not like you're just going to be like, boop, pull the plate out. You're going to have to take a little bit of effort to swap the plate out. So is that something they're going to do in the game? I don't know. If it is there going to be a timer with it? Possibly. I would assume there has to be, whether it's 6 or 8 or 15 seconds. It's going to take a little bit. So, I think that I would like to see that though in the game. Depending on what the durability of your vest is after. If you get shot and you stop a couple M80s, then you're probably swappable. But if your vest takes a ton of damage because somebody sprayed you with a bunch of 9mm GT and it tore up your vest, then maybe you can't replace your plate. Who knows? Who knows how they would make that work? It's an interesting mechanic to think about. So, and
Yeah,
thanks.
What were your thoughts on the talks about the suppressors and the
Very-
durability there?
Oh, very cool. I actually did write that. I want to talk about that. I think the durability on the suppressor thing, again, I hate gun durability in this game because it's really bearable durability for the most part. And I think the suppressor durability is they're going to degrade much faster than they should. It just seems to be the way that it happens in this game. The thing that I did like is that the sound is going to change. The sound is going to change, and I think they may have already tested this, if you're using subsonic rounds, which not everybody uses, but if you're using MP7 subsonic, that thing is going to make zero noise when you're relatively close to somebody. Awesome as the user, not awesome as the person that's getting shot, because you're going to get shot and you're going to get sprayed and you're going to think somebody's cheating. They just hit me with 8 shots in my chest when you didn't realize, because you didn't see them, perhaps, they were literally like 10 meters away from you.
Right. Well, also accuracy debuffs. I believe that was mentioned as well as your suppressors on the way out, and then the sound that it makes is going to be much louder, right? So as you're going to be able to be like, oh, we got a guy with a worn down suppressor 100 meters out towards pumping, right? You're going to be able to like tell, and it's going to be interesting because how you're going to be able to repair a suppressor and the suppressor economy will change because of this. So it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It'll definitely be interesting. I mean, again, there are some really good subsonic rounds that make no sense in using right now that I think could use some adjustments, but like subsonic MCX should be pretty good. I think that should be a really good round. But it's not because all of them sound the same. So there's no point in using subsonic when you use something that hits harder.
Right.
But I mean, subsonic in a IRL sort of situation, it hits hard, and it's pretty effing quiet. So, oh my God, Bobber's getting into it now. He's got the John B. Everybody's got their shades on. I don't have my shades in my room here. Okay, whatever. Everybody's got something cool. Oh wait, I got this beautiful mustache. I think I'm fine.
He's got a cat covering his eyes. Hell yeah.
There you go. Everybody's wearing glasses. You guys are crazy. Anybody have anything else that happened today that they wanted to talk about, or just anything in general? Tarkov.
And I was just really glad to see a Tarkov TV. I feel like it's been too long, and then also to come out of it and then have some sort of actual event going on. I don't know the rewards, but at least they're doing something.
Yeah,
Well, you remember
long overdue for an event.
Last time, the people that gave the most amount of money had their usernames written on a piece of paper that was featured in the Tarkov TV, which was super cool. So I mean, maybe
don't give two fucks about that.
you ain't getting a dime out of Fudge.
I'm not contributing one bandage. I'll do you one better. If I get a bandage, because usually I don't even take them out. If I get a bandage, I'm going to sell it to Fence.
Toxic.
Way to go. Oh my goodness.
I do want to say it does feel like for the first time in a long time, it's a positive sentiment around the game, right? So this is great because like I've watched the game go from here to here to here and then back down to here, and to have it back up here is actually nice.
Yeah. Everything that they talked about today hinges on the 2021 release and how much it improves the game.
And the delivery. They have to actually deliver.
Yeah, they have to execute.
If they don't deliver on the optimizations and the server stuff, and eventually the sound. I don't care about the sound right now. My thing is they're what they said that we're gonna see first is the optimization of the game. And if we don't see the optimization of the game, then they lost everybody. But if the game is optimized and it runs better and we see better server performance, and we get some small quality of life things and don't get a bunch of content and a bunch of errors, then I think we're moving in the right direction.
I'm going to be real with you. The fixes are going to be nice and much needed, but this next wipe is going to be like a quarter of streets and like 3 new guns and then these fixes. It's not going to be like some epic like content patch, which is fine because we need the core game to run better. But that's really what I'm saying is like I don't expect like a super hype. Yeah, I don't expect like new map, crazy new features, BTR taxis. But yeah, no, in addressing a certain somebody in the chat, yeah, no, this is the wipe. It wasn't last wipe. It wasn't the wipe before it. It's really this wipe this time.
One.
This wipe coming up is the wipe.
Can we also not wipe anytime soon because like I don't have Kappa yet.
I'm just one away from my sub goal. Just one more for the sub goal.
Oh, you don't have Kappa yet? I thought you would have it by now.
That's crazy, man. Imagine not having Kappa.
I swear to God, you guys aren't going to see me for at least a month if they reset me again.
He's out.
I'm good.
dude.
I'm gonna go.
Have-
I'm gonna go stream on YouTube as a different alias, playing a completely different game because I just
Minecraft.
need to. Yeah.
Orc massage.
I have
Yeah.
I had my stash deleted twice this wipe, and that was enough. And now
I've
I
had my
finally
account
recovered in
reset
the last 2
once.
weeks.
I had my account reset once and my stash deleted 4 times.
That's a lot.
I mean, that sounds
lot.
like a you issue.
Yeah.
Skill
I-
issue, really.
How many shekels did you receive?
Oh, yeah. That part.
En-
that
enough
part's
to
pretty
buy, enough to buy like a copy, maybe.
A tax
Yeah.
write-off.
Well, listen, my
He bought some frames. He bought some FPS. He sent in
I-
a thing to Nikita and said, "Give me the
my
FPS."
reset bought me a very expensive computer. So
Yep. Uncle Sam's gonna take the brunt of that.
Dad is
I
Chad,
need-
Chad is
listen,
dad.
I need the fucking tax write-offs.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. 15% for business owners in America. I know
Yeah.
it.
Awesome. Love that. Get those write-offs in. Get those write-offs in. That's for everybody in chat. If you can get some write-offs, get some write-offs in.
Can I write off my emotional suffering and Escape from Tarkov?
I know.
'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
go to
not
a
paying
therapist.
any-
Probably
I'm
could.
paying
Yeah.
no
If you go to a
taxes.
therapist.
Yeah, if you take
Yeah,
if you go
no
to a
kidding.
therapist, you could probably find
Yeah.
a way to make that work. Yeah.
Yep,
emotional
gray area there.
distress. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
I think that's like temporary disability. Do you have a temporary disability account set up?
Yeah.
So I would yeah. So I mean, yeah, we'll see how the follow through is. I mean, when we get 2020, what we got a month and a half before we possibly see the patch with 2021.
I'm thinking Arena though, man. How are we not going to get Arena in a month and a half when they're hyping it up with Chronicles of Rizzy? Like, how are they going to progress the storyline?
Hello?
With Chronicles of Rizzy?
Do you remember how many Streets hype videos we got before we got Streets? Did you forget that? It was 3 years. When I started playing Tarkov, 2 months after I started playing Tarkov, they're like, there's going to be this awesome map. It's going to be Streets. And I'm like, yo, look at those images. They look pretty sick. Dude,
Are
we
you
just
telling
got it
me
now.
I'm being honey-dicked? Is that what you're
Yeah.
telling me?
You are
Yes.
definitely being honey dick.
100%.
Yes.
Oh, dude, I don't want
Yes,
to be
the
honey-dicked.
sweetest,
Stop teasing
most
me.
local honey you've ever had in your life.
All natural, organic. Ugh.
Yeah. Yep,
Wait,
free
hot single
free
milk in my
range
area?
bees.
What?
Free range bees, Captain K. That's what you got.
Oh man, all
I'm here-
organic.
I'm here for the single milfs. That's right. No.
Well,
Oh.
he's talking about honey, not Bumble, Nexon. Jesus. Oh,
It's
my
the same
God.
thing.
I'm just here for a therapist's phone number.
Yeah. Which version?
Elvira.
The
Um,
Pesley version?
Oh, man. If I could get them digits, let me put it this way: I'd climb to any mountain to get them digits.
Oh, hey, start climbing. He's out there
I am.
doing it.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I saw that post. Crazy. So glass. So go through I wrote 3 pages of notes today. That's kind of wild.
Yeah. there
Normally
was a lot to take
there's
down.
not that much
Yeah.
stuff for me to write. Normally I'm like half a page in if I like write some bullet points. There's a lot of bullet points.
I saw
Um,
Lumber in Arena, and I went from like 6
You
to
went from
midnight,
6 to midnight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super duper hard as
Be
a rock.
fighting on woods in Arena, dude.
We didn't touch on the new ammo loading interface, changing scope, reticle brightness, or quick swap to sidearm.
Yeah.
Or bipods.
I mean, they just said it was coming. So I didn't
Right.
like want to address it because they're
Right.
like it's on the plan. Quick
Yeah.
swap to sidearm has been something I've talked about for a while. And then reticle brightness, much needed. Okay, so something they didn't talk about that I want them to talk about or want them to change is scope zoom. Why can't we have variable scope zoom on our variable scopes that have a fixed zoom on them? Why do I have a 5x12 power scope that's stuck on 12 power and I can't put it on 5 power?
We are sorry. We spent all of the money making the TV series and could not afford. All of the devs are busy making the TV series, and we could not delegate them to producing this variable optic.
You know, but like we've got all of these really big zoom scopes, you know, but like they're a pain. So normally when you're using a scope like that, you have it on a lower zoom and acquire around where your target's going to be, and then you crank your zoom in to really get into your onto your target if it's a really long range, like precision type shot. We can't do that in Tarkov. There doesn't exist. But like, I want that. It's such a huge part of the game that's missing to me. There's a million scopes, nobody uses them, and they complain. And I know that they changed these. Everybody uses, let's be honest, 4 maybe 5 scopes, right? Everybody uses the Razor, the EOTech, any one of the 4Xs.
Schmidt and Bender.
Schmidt and Bender
Very
now.
popular
Schmidt and
since they
Bender.
changed it.
Right, but I mean, the Schmidt and Bender still doesn't have that zoom that some of these other ones do. If you want to be like the guy that's like shooting from one end of
It has a
Lighthouse
longer
to the
zoom.
other.
I think I choose Schmidt and Vendor over Voodoo now.
Schmidt and Bender has longer zoom than a Voodoo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a 1 by
8
1 by
times.
8. Yeah, it's an 8.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, sure. But what if you don't want it at 1 and you don't necessarily want it at 8? Why can't I put it at 4? You know what I'm saying? What if you
Because
could put
it's a
that at
fucking
4?
video game.
Right, but like at PUBG, you could do it. You could zoom from 1 to 6 on the variable scopes. Why can't I have that in this game? I think it's a huge part of the game that's missing when we have things like Psycho Sniper and Shooter Born in Heaven, and I can't have variable zoom scopes.
Just cheese them. It's easy.
Yeah,
just
just
get.
pay your chat.
No, listen, it's called fudging it
Cheese Team 6.
with Cheese Team 6.
Epow.com.
You know, but I'm just saying, like, you put all those scopes in the game and they're not even usable, really. You know, if you got, like, I've used those scopes before, like using the telescope one for Sherman. I set 2 different DPI profiles on my mouse. So when I zoom in with the scope, I switch to a faster DPI profile so I can move faster. Like, you know,
Yeah, that where the sensitivities on the scopes are messed up. Ugh.
yeah, right. So
To do a 180 is like 3 feet of movement.
yeah, like how long is your desk and how long are your arms? You know?
No, shit, I hope you're an elbow gamer because wrist gamers are not able to use those scopes.
You know. Well, wrist gamers can use those scopes better than elbow gamers because then they can just use their elbow. What does an elbow gamer use?
Good point. I was gonna say, if you're really skilled with your wrist like Fudge Excel, you'll probably manage.
So actually how it works is for long, like hip fires and like long rotations, you use your arm. And then when you have to make micro adjustments, you use your wrist. It's not
Yep.
like both. It's
Right.
both. It's not either or.
Yeah, you do the like 180s with your arm and then the fine movements of the left and right with your wrist. Hey, did we talk about so I know we kind of touched on it, but the improvements that will be made to occlude objects out of sight to increase FPS, right? Where they
Right.
basically turned
Mhm.
everything off and then back on like that. So the idea is you're supposed to load it into the game quicker because like if I'm looking down a hallway, all of the assets that I cannot see will be turned off. So I have crazy high FPS.
Right.
So now, mind you, this is going to get buggy. Like when sometimes you stand next to a door and tilt your head a little bit, and then the door disappears, and then you tilt your head again, and the door reappears. It's going to be buggy as hell, but it's an interesting concept that, like, basically, I assume you won't be rendering anything outside of the hallway until you walk back into the hallway. And he was able to demonstrate that it happens like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
that's huge.
I think it depends. It might have a diminishing return too. They'll probably have to test it a lot more. But
Right.
I think it makes sense. You know, it also makes sense like when you set your visibility, right? So like 400 or whatever. It's just doing that on a much smaller scale, right? So like
Mhm.
beyond 10 meters, if there's a wall there, I'm not rendering the rest of it. So it really isn't that hard to switch it on and off. I think at the end of the day, the question is how well is it coded and it recognizes there's a wall or a door there. That's what it's all going to come down to. If that stuff's not fixed correctly, because we already have that issue now. How many times are you like sitting in Stronghold and you can see through the doors into library at Crack House, right? So that stuff needs to be fixed, and hopefully the core optimizations fixes that. Because if not, then yeah, you're going to be in a shit of hope, because that door is going to be there, and whether you can see anything on the other side of it or it's a black hole, and that example is going to suck. You know, it's going to be like a wormhole to Big Red, you know? So that'll be interesting when they work that in. But it makes sense. It makes sense from an optimization standpoint. Why should I be rendering stuff that I can't see?
Right. It makes no sense.
You know? So totally shouldn't be rendering those. And that's the problem with the game right now. I mean, and that's one of the things why they're saying they can put so many players in the map, right? Right now, that game is trying to render everything on the map. That's why when you go into offline mode solo, you can make a ton of frames, and then as soon as you add NPCs and reload into that offline raid, you lose a bunch of FPS. And then when you go into a live raid, you lose FPS, 1, because I think network issues, and then 2, now you have NPCs and players on the map.
Right.
Yes,
I would love to see scavs roam in groups and like loose formations, but now it's like 3 or 4 scavs kind of just chilling next to each other. But if you had like a patrol, right, of several enemies that were like walking alongside each other, I think that'd be really interesting. We don't have anything like that. I think that there's a limit to how many scavs that they obviously there's for performance reasons that they could put on a map at a time, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, like 2 scavs walking, pretending to talk, while smoking a cigarette, kind of thing.
I think Fudge needs to use the bathroom.
Yeah, I know. I see him. I'm just making him wait. I like to see him hold his arm up.
Yeah, I want to see him do the little dance.
There it is. All right, Fudge, what's up?
So do we think that they'll add the like go to your hideout in between raids type thing? Like with the quality of life changes that they're adding?
Be specific. I don't know what you're asking.
Like wasn't there rumor that they're gonna make it where like when you load out a raid, you like pick your next map, and as you're loading in, you can like re-up your ammo, re-up your heals and stuff. It's not like a complete loadout, then a complete load back in.
I don't think so. I think that's kind of what they're doing now with the party lead thing, because you can sit there and mess around. But yeah, once I'm in the queue, I would love to go into my hideout and manage my hideout while I'm waiting. That would be great.
I guess that's kind of more what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, like when I'm in queue for 3 to 4 to 5 minutes, am I able to manage my stash? God, my regular chatters know. My stash is a dumpster fire. I could use those extra 5 minutes for sure. Post some stuff on the flea market and keep going. I don't see why that's not a thing, other than they just haven't implemented it. I don't know why they wouldn't. Again, I'm pissed. They didn't talk about locking cases in place. Let me lock cases in place. I didn't miss that, right?
Right.
He said it's coming, but why isn't it coming now?
I mean, it's confirmed. It's 100% coming.
But I want it. I want it in the next patch.
So what's your thoughts on the whole dynamic RNG loot boxes that they're going to implement?
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Oh yeah, do we have the video for that?
I don't have that video. Actually, let me
I
see
think
if
that
I
one's
can.
on Twitter.
Let me pull it. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see what I got. I don't see it there. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter.
All the YouTube loot guides are about to be invalidated.
Right.
I have like 2. They're both shoreline.
Yeah, I have like 1 for reserve. 2, I have 1 for interchange as well for graphics cards. But I wonder if that means the same thing with PCs too, if like PCs will disappear and reappear, right? So like you go into Office, normally there's the 5 you hit that's static, but this time there's only 2.
I don't see.
So
I wonder, like maybe it makes it so dead areas of the map are no longer dead areas of the map. Like, but that will kind of in turn kind of ruin my favorite map, Shoreline, because
I don't think it's
they
gonna
take loot. What if they take loot out of resort and throw it in village, or throw it near pier, or like
I don't,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah, I don't think that's how it's gonna work. I think how it's gonna work is, you know how they changed the task on customs where you have to get the information in the train car,
yeah.
and now it's anywhere in that train car.
Oh, did you do the one on streets where there's 23 possible spawns
Right,
for
for the
one
pick.
task item?
It's gonna
Oh, I
be
love
the.
it.
I think the individual rooms, the loot is gonna stay relatively the same. It's just gonna be where in that room that it is.
Oh, great changes, BSG. Woohoo! That's what we needed. That's what we needed.
I think that's what they're talking about.
That was sarcasm. That's
yeah.
dumb.
Oh, whoops.
That's dumb. Fucking work on something else.
Give me more AKs. I need more AKs.
Yeah, give us some more
I will not
AKs.
rest until there's more AKs. I want like AK knockoffs too. So I want the
need-
Chinese and the Romanian version, and
I need more shotgun tasks.
yeah.
You shut your whore mouth.
That was sarcasm.
Can I get another
When they-
dehydration quest? But this time the entire raid stay
Oh my
dehydrated
God.
for 30 minutes.
Why don't they just
uh,
make Shooterborn 500 meters?
Yeah. Why don't they just? Yeah. Yeah. That's
Oh my
a great
God.
idea.
You guys are lost in the sauce now.
They should make sure every killing task says excluding factory.
Impact nades only Grenadier quest after the original Grenadier.
No.
Excluding
Smoke
impact.
grenade.
Smoke grenade.
Excluding-
Smoke grenade
excluding
grenadier.
impact.
You got to impact them with a smoke grenade when they're hurt.
And then you have to melee them.
No, you have to kill him with an M67.
It actually does damage. It doesn't even work. No. Flare. You have to kill with the flares. If you ever try killing people with the flares, it works. It is difficult. Imagine if you had a 10 flare kill quest.
You guys are getting.
I'd do it.
Getting a little wild. You guys are getting a little wild. Chat. You guys have any questions we haven't talked about that you guys want us to talk about right now? You have any questions for the esteemed panel of gentlemen that we have here on the podcast?
Yeah, chat. What you got for us? What color are your undies at
I'm
Bobber
not
Down?
wearing any.
Hell yeah. Pixar didn't happen, baby. Show me that shriveled up pigtail, Winky.
Oh, I'm gonna stick it in something down there in the old bunny ranch.
Flesh colored undies, huh?
Me and
My
Gino are gonna
goodness.
go have a good time, Pudge. We're going to dinner. Make sure
Poor
we dress
dad,
up.
like just trying to run a professional podcast, and we're over here shitting it up. We're having fun though,
it's
right?
fine. No, it's fine. I don't mind this. I had to turn the police thing off though. We had
You
to
turn it
turn the
back on.
police
Can-
alert
can
off.
we have it
Yeah,
back on, please?
yeah, I want my channel points refunded.
I can refund those.
Yeah. Yeah, I want mine back too.
I didn't get credit.
You want your credit? I'll give you your credit.
So we got a real question here. What's the most exciting news you each heard from the Tarkov TV?
That they're doing something.
Unity 2021.
Arena, high tick rate servers, professional gameplay. I'm not going to be
Yeah.
snoozing. Dude, I am a factory main most of the time because I just want to fight. I don't want to run for 10 minutes and then die to a headshot from 200 meters. I just want to fight. Let me fight.
Don't go woods.
I never go
Wow,
woods. Guess
imagine,
what map I play
dude.
the least?
Dude, Woods PvP's been lately. I don't know what you're talking about.
Imagine dogging on woods, and it's the very first arena map they show in the video today.
Yeah, but it's not the same. It's not the same because
yeah,
it's
it's
an
like
arena.
a small section.
Just
a small
saying.
section.
Uh-huh.
It's not.
Yeah.
My favorite gun is the KS-23.
Ew. Oh, KS-23 sniping quest. Yeah.
They're
There we
gonna
go.
add Shooterborn Part 2. It's gonna be shooting with your offhand at 100 meters because you're gonna.
So-
Yeah,
have
because you're
to
going to be able to
shoulder your
re-shoulder, yeah.
opposite. Yeah.
So that's the thing is, if you can re-shoulder, are you gonna have to pick a dominant hand type at the starting screen, right? Like, are you right or lefty?
Or you level
And
it.
then if you're lefty, your accuracy is impacted.
Yeah,
Your-
but what
your
if
skill.
I'm ambidextrous, right? Like I shoot with my right hand, but I
You only get that if you buy the $165
But
version
I-
of the game. Oh.
So
While
actually, if we're being real, you normally orient yourself whichever eye is dominant, not if you're left-handed
Right.
or right-handed. You could be right-handed but left eye dominant, and left-handed and right eye dominant. It's rare,
Right.
but it does happen. You
Right.
go eye dominance is how you shoot, not which hand you like to hold it in.
I like holding it in my left. but I shoot.
Yeah. There you go. Right.
Yep.
He's definitely talking about firearms, chat. Not
Talk
Yeah.
about his
guns.
penis.
Yeah, guns are scary. I would never ever fire a gun. That's just terrifying.
Fires into a sock every night. I mean,
Oh my. Oh goodness gracious. Oh my god.
Hell, when he runs out of
Fine.
socks, he just uses whatever beanie he's got laying around.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna come down to a point system for left and right to give you a bonus overall for fighting. 'Cause
Right.
I
Right.
mean, when you're training in a lot of scenarios, like real training, you're gonna train ambi because there's gonna be situations where it's better for you to be ambi. Are you gonna do that all the time when you're qualifying on the range? Are you doing ambi? Probably not. But are you gonna train at least some ambi? Sure. And if you do it enough, then the hand that you don't normally have your firearm in is eventually you're gonna get better at it. So
An
I
ambi
think
skill would be cool.
yeah, I mean, I think that you level it up and master it.
Right.
If you get to the point where you're maxed out on your right hand, then you get a accuracy bonus. And if you go through the whole thing and do it on your left hand, eventually you get an accuracy bonus as well. Long term in the game, and I know Nikita's talked about this in the past, is where like you'd have to upkeep your stuff to keep your bonuses. So you would be like, well, I'm going to shoot right-handed. Well, it's maxed out, so I can't. I'm gonna go max out left-handed. It may not work like that, depending on what the decay is on your things. You may not ever be able to ambi master.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Look,
Yeah.
he's hiding his sock now.
Yeah, he is. He's peeling them off his feet. It's pinching them because they're crusty. It's kind of stuck to him.
Oh
yeah, the
God.
oil on them toes though helps. All right, I'll stop. I'll stop. We're having a good time.
I'm almost there. Keep going.
Where do you think the guy that invented
Where do you think my
Crocs?
hands
How do you
are?
think he got the idea? Just saying,
Are
they were
you not
crusty
entertained?
socks.
Are you not entertained?
Oh, here we go. I know what's gonna happen. I can
Yeah,
see it now.
uh-huh.
Take off the vipers. Oh, there's no vipers.
So Chad told me to take my pants off yesterday, and I go full cam, and I take my pants off, and I'm wearing shorts underneath, and I swear I about shocked half of them. They thought for real I was fixing to do something scandalous.
I accidentally mooned chat once.
Oops, that VOD got saved.
I had a little plumber's crack and I stood up. Normally when I leave the room, I turn the camera off just in case anybody walks in the room or whatever. And I forgot. And
Don't worry, I've been there too. It happens.
I definitely moon chat by accident and deleted the shit out of that VOD, and then deleted any clips. It's happened.
Oh,
I've had a toddler mid, pull up change, crossing the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there goes the whole fucking. I'll catch you in 5 minutes, chat. I gotta restart.
Right. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
All right.
That one
All right.
there, that one's the youngest.
Oh, old peeps, we got to
Old
bullshit for
peeps.
another half hour.
Old peeps. Oh my God, what's going on here?
Let's bullshit. Let's bullshit for another half hour. Let's go. Let's just sit here and tell fart jokes and crusty sock jokes.
Oh
We're
my
having a
God.
great time. It's perfect. No, but really, how do you stream for 5 years on Twitch and not accidentally flash your butt crack to chat? Like you're talking about like hundreds of thousands. I've still got like 5,000-6,000 hours. Maybe it's like 4,000. I don't know. I got several thousand hours. There's no way that my cheeks don't accidentally get flashed to chat. Like it's just gonna happen.
I've come close to showing a nipple more times than I can count because I wear cut off shirts, like sleeveless shirts, but I don't typically ever wear like an undershirt under them.
Will they ban you?
Probably.
No.
Is that
I
bannable?
don't think so. I don't think so.
Are nipples kosher?
I think if I'm not sitting in the hot tubs, pools, and whatever section, and I'm not like actually at like a beach or something, yeah.
Just tell him you're in a pool of sweat because you're playing Tarkov. That should be good enough.
I think that everybody should be we should free him up, man. Gotta stop being scared. Everybody's going to kick anyways. Nobody's staying on this platform.
Yeah, I'm doing 1 or 2 kick streams a week, and I'm gonna just start doing them naked.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna you're gonna double the site's audience.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I'll be one of them. Lurking every stream.
Every 5
Same.
gifted, I take off another piece of clothing.
Oh
That's
my
right.
God.
So you're gonna have socks on top of socks.
I mean, he only wears cutoffs and boxers, so
That's
boom, and
that's
gifted, you're
cheap
done.
though, because we know that Fudge is just gonna keep pulling off more and more pairs of fucking pit vipers.
Like, yeah, he's got
He's
like
just
20 pairs
oh,
of pit
5
vipers on.
gifted, yoink.
One?
5
Another
gifted
set of
and the
pit
mic just
vipers.
come off.
5 more gifted. Boom. There's gonna be another set of pit vipers underneath it.
Oh fuck that! I'm gonna do the fucking full twirly with my ding dong right on stream.
Are you gonna do the heli?
Yeah, 50
That-
gifted.
I was about to say that needs to be more than 5. That needs to be 50. And I need a solid like 69 seconds, man. I need you to just
Nice.
A full
rotate.
720.
Yeah, there you go.
Full 720.
Yeah. But then counterclockwise as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. While playing, you spin me right round, baby,
Baby,
right round,
round.
like a record, baby, round.
There
I
we
mean,
go.
you're on kick. They're not gonna DMCA you. It's
Yeah,
fine.
there you go. There you go.
You're good.
By the way, Old Peeps, yo, thank you for the raid. Hope you had a fantastic stream, guys. If you didn't catch it, go give Old Peeps a follow. Go check him out. Please, I would appreciate it. And if you're coming in, we've been talking about the TarkovTV today. We've kind of gotten to the point where we're kind of talking about everything, but we're taking questions from chat right now.
any
And
questions,
chat has nothing to none of their questions have to do with Tarkov, but you guys have questions. So
I'm an open
Yeah.
book. Ask away. Anything.
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 I don't know how to read. Nope.
It's well played. Oh, well played.
Are you ever happy? No, I play Tarkov for a living. Next.
Have you invested in Pit Vipers? Yeah.
All right, we get it. Shut up.
Yes. Like
Nice.
not
Like
their
a-
stock, but like
Yeah, we need to get Fudge XL.
When we
stock,
when we're gonna get a-
stockholder.
Yeah, why don't you get
When
a
we gonna
Pit
get a
Viper
used
partnership?
used fudge at pitviper.com.
dude,
Yeah.
you know what? I had my team try to get me into that, and brother, they're fucking ridiculous. They want you to send a goddamn fucking like why they should sign you video, but they want you to send them a fucking VHS tape. So like I gotta record some shit, download it to a fucking CD or to a hard drive or whatever, take the hard drive and go find somewhere where somebody can import it into a goddamn VHS and then send it. Fuck no.
Do you know what a VHS is, Fudge?
Who's got a camcorder that can send it to Fudge so he can make his video?
Right?
Make
Take
it somebody.
dedication. You could do it, Fudge. Maybe that's what they're looking for. Is someone that's actually gonna
Go
chill
through the
that
motions.
out.
Yeah.
They're looking for that.
I'll make some calls for you. We'll see if we can get you a camcorder.
Whatever happened to the good old like, let me just send them my TikTok. They see my followers. They can see all the views I've gotten for them.
Because everybody else
All
is
of them
doing
wearing, all of them wearing Pit Vipers though. Like, why can't we just do that?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah,
It's too easy.
they don't want to. They don't want to watch. They don't want to watch all that stuff.
Because the CEO of Pit Vipers is probably a boomer who hasn't figured out how to use TikTok yet. Let's be real. That's probably what's happening. So, real question, boys. I ask you, out of all the moments in Tarkov, right? There's probably a handful of them that stick out to you the most.
Mm-hmm.
What is your like number one moment in Escape from Tarkov ever?
Placing 4th in the Evasion Trios tournament with Fuzzy and Fab.
Actually, the Evasion Trio was that the same Evasion Trios that I was with Finest and Sensei Scavon? I think it was. And I remember the PvP towards the end was insane. One of my favorite moments, actually, I was going to bring up. That and the time I slayed a 3-man on Labs with a sword, but I'm pretty sure there was desync involved there.
It was more specifically the last raid of the tournament. My team was in 7th or 8th, and top 5 like won money.
Right.
And Fuzzy basically died like right off rip. So it was just Fab and I. And we went and killed both because it was on Interchange, the last Evasion Trios, and both Killa and Tagilla were in Goshen. So everything was in Goshen. Like all the fighting was in Goshen. So is basically just Fab and I, and we're like, okay, I'm gonna worry about the bosses. He's gonna worry about PMCs. I killed the bosses, like both of them, like that, and then him and I just wiped the rest of the lobby. We killed like literally every PMC was there, and got literally a max point raid, and it took us from like 8th to 4th to win money, and that was easily my favorite.
Euphoria. Yeah. Yeah, I lost that. So that yeah, I didn't have that same excitement. What about you, Bobber?
I don't know that I've had anything too exciting in game. I've watched a lot of exciting moments. I don't know. I'm still on the hunt for my exciting in-game moment.
There
Sure,
isn't
I'll have
one that did it for you, just got your sails full of wind.
I survived a 360 bitbot grenade inside of a closet in New Gas.
That's pretty wild.
That was pretty exciting. But oh yeah, I guess I found a red keycard as a scav, and Glorious reacted to that. That was cool.
Nexon?
I deleted 2 4-mans with a KS-23 on reserve,
Ooh.
and then
Same raid?
Same raid, yeah. And then
disgusting.
I ran out the timer and did not make it out.
Oh, also disgusting.
Yeah.
That's Tarkov for you. Okay. Yeah, dad life.
See, mine are probably old school, old back pre D2 reserve are some of the things that I remember the most. One of them was beyond the B bunkers, like the ones we spawned. There was the shitty mark room, the little gray buildings beyond train. There was a guy in that sniper tower, and I shot him from dome with a VPO 215 with 366 AP with a 4x scope out of it.
Ooh.
It was like a 500 meter shot with that crappy little gun. And then I did another one was the opposite direction. So I did one from where that guy that I killed was, and then shot a guy at a dome. I think that wasn't with the 366. That was with a DVL. That was like the first shot that I had ever really long shot that I ever really made in Tarkov. I have some really nasty snipes over Tarkov thing, and those are some of the things that I remember. And it's almost like you can't even do them anymore. Like I can't do them anymore unless somebody's standing still. I have so many things from like 4 or 5 wipes ago before desync was bad, where I was landing 500 meter plus snipes all the time with like a DVL. And now you can't do it. It's so hard. It's so hard because where you shoot where you should be shooting, like I know where to shoot, but their character's not actually there. It's what I see as I think that they're there. Those are some of my favorite things, is landing just ridiculous snipes in Tarkov. Like I've landed one from the sniper rock up on woods, all the way to Ruev.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, I've killed some other things. I think some of the more memorable moments have been like just doing stuff with other people where it was crazy. Like just knife fighting people and drop down on reserve. Like we dropped down and there was guys just fighting and everybody else was fighting. It was just like just silly stuff like that are some of the most memorable moments in Tarkov that I've had. They're not always personal achievements. They're just like some of the most crazy stuff that I've ever seen in the game.
I gotcha. Okay, so I think this is a better question. What is the gnarliest team kill you've ever done?
I've done too many of them. I can't remember.
Yeah, you're a team killing champion over here. Okay.
Actually, no.
Actually, rephrase. Not for money.
Oh, boo.
Oh.
Yeah.
I literally get DMs.
I know. I'll go first. I'll go first.
Hey, hey, will you pay them so I can kill them?
I
got you.
We were all screwing around one time. I forgot who, if it was me, Fudge, and maybe Fuzzy, and somebody else, Fab, I think it was, we were playing with, and we were all kind of like shooting each other in the leg and messing around, and Fudge was playing fuck around and find out. And I ran up to him and went to go hit him in the leg, but I was too close and I one-bopped him in in the head with the melee.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, because he had hit me in the leg the raid before. I was like, here comes payback, and I critted him and killed him.
Dude, I looked like a fucking lobster. I was so mad. I was so red.
We were all doing something. I forgot what we were doing. He needed something, and we were all grouped up to try to get him a task done. And then I just killed him.
I think it was like mid raid, and I just killed like a bunch of players, and I was juiced.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was.
Super
it was
excited
hilarious.
or something, and then you just fucking bought me and just son of a bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
That's disgusting.
Mine is also I caused the death of Fudge this way.
Oh, this is so good though. You're a piece of shit, but it's so good.
So we were helping Fudge get through some tasks, and I may or may not have been possibly altered in the mind. But I was running around with flashbangs, and Fudge had stumbled across a couple killer hunters in Kiba, and he's having his content conversation with them and all that, and he's like trying to, get their vibe and everything like that. And all you hear is me and his VOD flashbang, and then his screen goes black, and the dudes come out of Kiba and kill him.
But the worst part about it is they were being chill, like they were like cool. So I thought we were gonna have like a friendship type of thing, right? The second they knew I was blind, that friendship went right out the fucking window.
Tore him apart like a piece of meat.
Oh my goodness.
I think the worst I've ever felt team killing a teammate is probably team killing Nixia. I was outside of East, man, and she literally just told me where the fuck she was, and I just mowed her down, dude, and I felt so bad. No, she of course was she was cool about it, but dude, I just felt like so bad. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't really feel bad. I don't care. Like, my heart's cold. Like, I'll fuck around and tap Fudge at the knees, and I won't even think about it. Now, Fudge, that being said, I've yet to TK you, but we should get some games in soon.
We haven't TK'd each other at all.
I know that. I think we wait. Is that true though? Didn't I paid though?
I don't know that we've even done a paid TK.
That's true. We got to change that.
There's a few people that I have like a long-standing never TK'd this person for money or not with. Yeah. And like you're up there, like where we've run a bunch of raids and no TKs.
Maybe I'm just not obnoxious enough. I need to play the Jester more.
Fudge has never TK'd me for money. He does it for free.
Yeah.
No, I've done both.
Beautiful.
Fudge TKs me too fast for people to pay for my TK.
I didn't even know they were paid. I thought I did it for free. Now he's holding out on me.
I've been TK'd by Fudge. So
no. I think who's like the longest lasting I've never TK'd them.
I don't even think by accident. That's crazy.
What's the worst TK? What's the worst TK that you remember that somebody did to you? That's my question.
Did to me?
Yeah.
Fudge. When he hit me on the head in the middle of the streets and we were juiced.
Sem killing me. Sem killing me was pretty bad. I just gotten like literally not even exaggerating, like 8 fucking streets tasks done, and I didn't know streets for shit. And he was shooting at it was kind of my fault, right? So he was shooting at a scav, and I didn't realize he was shooting at a scav, and I walked in front of him, and he hit me in the back of the head.
Oh, straight in front of your teammate, yeah.
Or then there was, you remember how people were calling me fucking Lenny XL for all of a month or whatever. And I was playing with hay bales.
Flowers, Lenny.
I was playing with hay bales, and I'm literally in dorms looting a jacket, and she got a paid TK, and she just comes in the room, like blocks the door. So I turn and I like look at her, and she goes, "Look at the flowers, Fudge," and then shoots me in the face, and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
That's funny. That's funny as shit. I saw that. I saw the TikToks come out, and I fucking rolled, man. I was just woke up, and I just good old times.
Old peeps,
Good
thanks
old
for those
times.
gifted. Guys, give old
Dad
peeps a follow if you
life.
haven't
Look
already.
at this absolute.
Daddy.
My most memorable time being TK'd was on my last map of the guide.
Dad life. Look at this absolute.
Daddy.
Whoever was, if it wasn't intentional.
No, it was accidental.
Oh,
so
that makes it so much worse.
Yeah, it was accidental
Dad
TK.
life. Look at this absolute.
Where
Daddy.
we had run through, and it was for my first Kappa, and it was the last thing I needed to do. And we're literally like...
Dad life. Look at this absolute.
I don't know, we were at
Daddy.
the container camp on Woods, because we were taking the long way to car extract. And... we were running
Dad life. Look at this absolute.
We were running a 4-man, and there were scavs, and they were trying to kill all the scavs before I got to them, because God forbid you get stuck by like the one scav that manages to shoot through my Alton, right? And somebody goes, "Oh, scav," and I ran forward into a door. I hate Altons. And then I ran back around the other side of the car. As I was running back around the front side of the car, they started firing full auto at this scav with the HK 416. And I died because I panicked and didn't know where they were, and they just yelled scav, so I went to go run around the other side of the car to get cover and took 995 to the dome, and that was the end of the guide.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you know who Needy Beach is? You guys know Needy Beach?
Yeah, he's my alert.
So this one team kill, the worst team kill I've ever, like where I've been killed, was Needy Beach. And the context was we were all running flares. It was end of wipe. I think it was like Bod or Burner's birthday bash or something. We were all kind of drinking, and we were all running thermals on kits on Woods. And I have the tendency to talk a little too much, and it annoys the fuck out of Needy. And so I'm sitting there trying to calm about what's going on, and Needy's like, "I see a guy. I'm closing in on it, and I know it's me." And I'm like, "Needy, don't. Needy, don't." And he's like, "Comes, K!" Like super irate, super pissed. "Comes, K!" And then just jays a headshot right into me. And I go, "Needy, that was me. What the fuck?" And he felt so bad. He went in chat and gifted 10 subs because he just felt like an absolute asshole because I was trying to tell him that he was about to shoot me, but he fucking told me to basically shut the fuck up. And
shut up! I'm trying to kill you.
Yeah, it was great. It was absolutely great.
That's
That
awesome.
one sticks out. Needy's a good dude. Shout out to Needy Beach. Just saying. That was great.
Needy is great, dude. He's a unit at this game. Talk about people that are really good at the game. My goodness.
I got TK'd by Velian the other day. Speaking of TKs, that TK
Cap
sucked.
items, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was hilarious. That was hilarious. You got so close.
Extract for me, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, here, take my gun and get some XP." I was like, "All right, cool."
You bent down to take his gun and got dunked. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Freaking Valiant. First time playing with Valiant. That was nice.
It was hilarious.
That was nice.
It was so funny. You knew you weren't gonna get out with that. Chat can be.
I love how he didn't get the memo on anything either. Like we all show up and we're just like a ragtag, like pish posh PPSH, like wielding goofballs, and here's Vel like just full meta kit.
It was still fun. He got it late, like halfway through.
Oh man, it was fun.
You know, it was a good time. It was a good time. I think we'll have to keep the PP gang must ride again.
Yeah,
sure.
we by the way, we should do a 5-some PP gang with this cast.
Yeah.
And like
For
every
sure.
time we should definitely like keep doing that with people we hung out on podcasts with as a tradition. So
Yeah,
Fudge
I'm down.
is gonna have to clear his very busy schedule and make a hot date with us.
Yeah.
So we can make it happen.
Friday night
You're busy.
PP gang, paid TKs,
Yeah, I know.
Bitbot for everybody. Oh yeah.
Every
mean
time I
team.
go, "Hey, Fudge, what are you doing on Tuesday?" "Oh, just filming that VHS video for Pit Vipers." "Hey, what are you doing Wednesday?" "Oh, just filming, still doing some more filming." I just ad nauseum until it
Literally
becomes like a month.
every time you and I talk about playing, we end up playing like 2 days later.
That's true.
It's never like, oh, I'm busy, blah, blah. We're on point.
Right. Yeah, he's right. I'll have to DM. Yeah, I'll DM you. We'll make it happen again. So, boys, I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. That was a really anticlimactic. He was like, "Boys, I'm gonna go use the bathroom." What's up, Fudge?
Can I go shake for him?
Yes.
Yeah, go shake for him.
I'll be right back.
Goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. All right.
Yeah, chat. You didn't get to see his butt crack. We did.
Damn, they call that shit the Grand Canyon or what? Oh my goodness.
Shut your fucking mouth, Bad Life.
Wow.
That was rude.
Is that? Hey, I was just saying you had nice cleavage. Okay, what's wrong with that? Bobber's just sitting there with his glasses on. I can only imagine what his eyes are doing behind those
I'm
John
looking at
B's.
all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah, I bet you are. We can see what you're looking at. It reflects.
Is that Pornhub I see through your glasses?
Yes.
Don't worry, it's fine. He's in the pool category. It's fine. It's no big deal. It's a new one they added.
I did just make a kick before this, so I can follow you, Fudge, if you're serious about what you said earlier.
No, I already did one.
Like,
Dude, listen.
69 seconds worth?
Wait, what?
No, you did.
And...
Oh, nice.
That was a nice rewind
great.
back to that. Okay. All right. Let's wrap it up here. We've been at 3 hours. Gotta try to edit this and upload it.
3 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
20 seconds.
Okay. All right.
So wait, so opening clip is us joking about Fudge's crusty socks, right?
Yeah, I'll edit that right to the beginning.
Sounds
To the
good.
beginning. Nice.
Hey man, you got to start off with a joke. It's a good old punchline, right? Anyways, boys, it was fantastic. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no
Shout
problem.
out to chat, guys. Thanks for watching our debauchery. If you've been here most of the cast, man, seriously, thank you for hanging out and participating in this.
Do me a favor, guys. If you're not following anybody here on the stream, you guys can click it in the title, click their names, give them a follow. If you guys want to post any links, feel free. This is the time where you can plug yourself in chat.
No.
I'm gonna post my OnlyFans. Hang on.
All right, go for it.
Wait, no shot you have an OnlyFans. Oh, okay.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
unless you're interested, we can talk deals. Have your people reach my people.
Oh,
Like,
bro.
There you go. Only Pit Vipers.
Yep.
Yeah, we can do some shout outs here. No ats.
Katie, I'll be inquiring.
Yeah. Please get with her. She's really good at business. Katie,
I'm
if you ask
not.
for a coupon code, tell him that we are out of those. I know he's
God
gonna
damn it!
ask.
Why is there gonna be a 0 in your?
What
thing?
do you think? I'm a cheap fuck?
Well, no, I just think you're a thrifty man. There's a difference.
Yeah, but I
between
can
cheap and
afford-
thrifty.
I mean, listen, I can't imagine that people are paying more than $5 a month for your OnlyFans. So
Well,
I think I could shell out the $5. You know.
Hey, can you afford $6.90?
Hey, shit.
I mean, I'll give you the deluxe package.
Yeah, let me get that discount code.
Yeah, Katie, tell him absolutely not. We don't haggle. This
No
content
haggling.
is golden, and he'll pay the full value.
This ain't no haggle. This is a goddamn demand.
It's a demand. Oh my goodness.
Let's stick up. Put your head in the air, mother. Everybody on the ground. All right. Oh,
Awesome.
It's been real.
It's been real. Is it? Are any of you guys live?
No, but me and
no.
Bob are down are about to make out for 3 hours. So if you guys want to go watch that, we'll be doing that.
Okay.
This is
Awesome.
true.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Well, in that case, let's raid somebody. Let's see what we got. We were talking about her earlier, so let's raid Nixia. Show
Yeah.
see some love.
Yeah.
She's fun. She'll mention some stuff. She'll segue right from Coom socks straight into some whatever she's talking about, and I'm sure it'll be a good
Probably
segue.
more Coom socks.
Yeah,
Tell her
probably
to
more
spit in
Coom
your mouth.
socks. Can we just give her like Coom sock raid? Is that what we spam when we get there? Can we do that?
Tell her to spit in your mouth. She'll do it. I know.
There we go. I like it. Kay's
Coom
got it.
Sock raid. Oh my
Coom sock
God.
raid. Let's do it.
Oh
Let's
my
do
God.
it.
Alright.
All right, guys. Seriously,
happened.
thanks for everybody for hanging out tonight. If you guys like what you see, I would appreciate if you want to see these again. We do them live. Once a month at least, maybe twice going forward. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, give me a follow. I'd appreciate it. I could plug myself.
And the Coom Sock Raid!
All right, guys, have
Let's
a
go!
fantastic evening. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast.
Bye, guys.